after hangar improvements are made. Past rent increases have been 5% or based on the cost of living. Commissioner Brent Henley abstained, expressing concerns about the impact on pilots. Voting in favor of the increase were Cripps, County Executive Terry Bell, Vice Chairman Kevin Huskenveld, Commissioners Brad Hillis, Kelly Bassham, and Scott Rubley. In other news, Fire Chief Kendall Mayfield retires after 40 years, effective May 1st, due to health reasons, with a celebration set for May the 2nd at Station 1. Subscribe to www.mainstreetjournal.llc for more info. With the news, I'm Justin Reed.
Ascension St. Thomas River Park is here to listen to you because caring for you is our number one priority. Ascension Care Teams start by understanding you, your health, and your life to deliver care that's right for you. Now offering cardiac CT angiography services, a non-invasive cardiac exam that looks at the blood vessels that supply blood to the heart and can detect if plaque has narrowed the coronary arteries. The compassionate, personalized care you've come to expect is right here in McMinnville. We're more than just a hospital, ER, and a clinic. We want to give you hope, health, and strength.
Tonight, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm before 9 p.m., then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m., mostly cloudy skies with a low around 47. Chance of precipitation tonight is 60%. Friday, expect a slight chance of showers before 1 p.m., then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between 1 and 4 p.m., and another chance of showers after 4 p.m., partly sunny skies with a high near 60. Winds could gust as high as 20 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation tomorrow is 50%. Keep shining. This is Tisha with your weather.
Don't stop. Keep dancing. Move to the beat. Dance all night.
All right, hello, welcome to the Warren County Sports Authority radio show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. The Warren County Sports Authority, powered by Reddick Brown Ford.
Ooh, sounds
good.
Vroom. RBF. I learned that last week, baby. Gonna shout it to the tops of the sky.
Hey, I'll tell you right now, hey, if you want to make that short drive on 55 to Morrison to visit Reddick Brown, they got the largest selection and best prices of Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs. The customer always comes first with General Manager Chris out there, and Reddick Brown. You can visit online at reddickbrownford.com. The energy's different.
It's different today, boys.
I can already feel it.
It's a big game.
Y'all were started up. I mean, Sullen, this is the second time Sullen's been on the mic today. This is the second time I've been on the mic.
I feel like I'm home right now. Or
Actually, this is the third time.
I
even joined for 10 minutes.
He came in because he wanted to be with the winners.
I saw somebody comment and said, hey, sometimes you got to put the varsity players in on JV to get them win every now and then.
You're not wrong.
He kind of took a shot at me too, because I took a shot at him like he was stealing,
Yeah.
stealing trademark secrets or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll tell you this much. Hey, if you're in the comment section right now, just go ahead and hit that share button. Let everybody know. If you're listening to us on WBMC on the radio and you want to give us a call, 473-9383. One of these days, someone's going to do it.
Yes.
I can feel it.
That's one thing Town Talk does have on us. They'll get some phone calls.
Yeah.
A lot of phone calls.
A lot of phone calls.
And a lot of them don't even make it to air. It's just me answering them in the booth. I feel so bad for them.
The screener, we got the screener behind the scenes there.
You'll see Dubs.
C-Dub.
Yep. And also, if you can listen to us on the WBMC app. Guys, we got some unfinished business from last week. And we always do this. It's how we start. This is how I know that we have loyal listeners.
Tell me.
They know our segments now.
They do?
Yes. Especially the ones that have been with us. Especially the ones that have been with us since we were in the basement. As Sullen said this morning.
He said that
today. He said basement. I was like, there's no basement.
You mean his dining room?
Yeah, but it's kind of low level. You know what I mean? You drop off the hill.
His house is low level.
Yeah. Hey,
but water doesn't get in.
There's no water in the back.
Water don't get in the back.
I'm saying, hey, the last week rewind is our first segment. Hey, if you're wanting to pair your business with the Warren County Sports Authority, here's your chance. We have a limited number of open segments, sponsorship still available, including the last week rewind, which is one of our most popular weekly segments. It's up for grabs. Call us, let you know. What do you think, Sullen's?
Yep.
Can we get a business before the end of the night? We tried this last week, and nobody stepped up.
It's happening tonight.
Tonight. Someone's going to jump in and say that.
Yes.
But, hey, on last week's show, I'm glad y'all came prepared. I said it right before the meeting, right before, and y'all were like,
we dropped the ball on
this big
time.
We put out a clip we talked to a lot of people about this. We shared it. We put it on the show. Trev had to wear the overalls last week. Well, he didn't have to wear. He just had to wear orange.
Yeah.
He came in with checkerboard overalls.
Trev went above him beyond.
Go big or go home.
Had a Farm Bureau UT hat that he told us, I'm going to burn them.
I was gonna give him to a homeless guy to burn. I wasn't gonna take the time to do it.
Well, you're trying to
think about that. He was going to give them to a homeless guy and tell him to burn them.
Like,
don't wear them. Burn them.
Yeah, don't burn. Don't wear this. Just burn it.
Yeah. And then Sullins had a Jamal Mashak shirt the week prior.
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
And we said we were going to put those up. Well, we got a winning bid. Krista Fleming, congratulations. $130. If you want to come by the station on Friday, we will have that hat, the overalls, and the shirt for you, and thank you so much for that bid, because we're gonna be donating that money to our Special Games basketball locally. So, and
I said that I would match that with the other Special Olympics with Jason DeArmond.
Yeah,
so we'll make sure that gets done as well.
So one bit, so Krista's money is going to go to Special Games basketball, and Sullins' 130 will be going to Jason DeArmond and the basketball program that they run as well. So both of those programs are going to get taken care of because of the fact that because Trev was going to burn us some overalls.
Yeah. Well,
we can't be burning the checkerboard.
Yeah, I mean you could, but I'm glad that there's going to help out a good cause. It's definitely better than the alternative of being burnt.
Well, like when you say help out a good cause, there's so many good people that are involved in both of those causes. Help so many young men, young women in this community. So we're glad to do that.
Absolutely.
Hey, my dad has already messaged me and said, "How in the world have we went to the fact that Jeff, the polar bear, is the one wearing a hoodie today on today's show?"
That is.
I will say,
I'm actually surprised he owns a hoodie.
I'm thinking he's actually working out. He's hoping this gets to about 100. It's the sauna type deal. That's what he's doing.
Have you trained at all this week?
Yeah. Actually, my steps are up about 1,500 a day.
1,500 a day?
Yeah, 1,500 more a day this week than last week.
You told them the news?
Oh, I did.
I
bet they didn't.
That you're being a big female dog?
Easy.
He actually go RBF on us on the other one?
Whoa, what happened?
did go and check. I checked my schedule.
Oh,
because I didn't.
Yeah, this guy. Here we go.
I didn't check my schedule before I committed to Tunnels for Towers, and then found out after I did check my schedule that I'm actually going to be in East Tennessee that weekend because the Lady Broncos will be playing in a basketball camp at ETSU.
Hey, Tim.
So I'm not going to be there.
Hey, Tim will give you an out.
Hey, Tim would give me an out.
Yeah, exactly.
I coach 10 girls that's not going to work.
They'll give you an out.
Oh, I got a feeling they would.
Me, absolutely.
Well, hey, do us a favor though. Since you're going to be up there,
okay. You're an assistant coach. Would you just say, "Hey, sorry, I'm going to go run a 5K instead of be with my team"?
If I was Jeff, yeah.
You're such a liar.
He's not going to do that.
You didn't miss a single thing.
So when is our makeup date? There's got to be a makeup
July
date.
4th.
You're going July 4th.
I'll do the Stars and Stripes.
So one of the things was that they would run the Stars and Stripes if you didn't make it in the 45, right?
Right.
Or you made it.
If I made it under 30.
Under 30.
Yeah. That's not going to
happen. We're good, C-Dub.
Yeah.
He's not running 6.5 miles an hour.
Hey, well, we talked to I already forgot the guys' names from this morning.
Yeah.
The Ralphs.
They said the Ralphs.
Yeah.
They said 36 was a good time.
Mickey was saying that he thinks I could do it in 36. I will say this much.
I'm out. 36 is not 30, so we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
My dad says typical Jeff changing the rules.
Yeah, I got to change the rules.
I'm so irritated by the fact that my dad, who is the most loyal, like this guy was driving back and forth from Kentucky to make sure he wasn't missing my baseball games when he got a new job, is somehow calling me out because I'm going to go coach the team that I coach.
You could drive to the 5K, then drive back, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm going to – we're playing at Johnson City.
You got time?
We can fly him back.
Yeah. Somebody rent a –
Well, I got one. Since you're in Johnson City, could we not just there's a lot of technology out there. Just do a 5K.
Just do a 5K.
Yeah, just say, I get up at 7 o'clock. I'm going to run 5K.
Get on the treadmill?
Yeah. Just
we'll be
on
a
treadmill. Can't be on a treadmill.
No.
We got to –
I will drive
Johnson
up.
City with a heel?
Yeah.
I'll drive up to Johnson City to film it, Jeff. Yeah. Don't worry. You'll still get on camera.
Yeah. Well, hey, just to deflect this entire conversation
He's
very
running
quickly,
on a green screen.
That my stepmom and dad, who are in the comment section, Emily Simmons says Emily and Dad will also be matching the total.
I like it.
So
good quality people in
Yes.
this community.
Yeah. So we will be so that will take that up to I think $390.
Absolutely, that's $390. We're going to split between two.
Yeah. So we will make sure that we go through and do the things that we're doing here. So guys, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, Sullins has got a rant that everybody's going to want to see.
We're going there early.
We're going there very early, and we're actually cutting this segment short, so we'll have a little bit more time on there. But hey, again, remember, the Warren County Sports Authority is powered by Reddit Brown Ford.
Vroom, baby.
We'll be back on 97.7 FM.
So that power stroke power.
Attaboy.
Attaboy.
Big savings, short month.
Now is the time to buy at Ed Rogers Valley Ford. Get in the new Ford you've been dreaming of. A 2024 Ford Escape, $7,000 off MSRP, just $24,985 after rebate.
Make your escape with the SUV to carry the family and all the necessities: clothes, sports equipment, groceries.
Test drive a new Ford Bronco at Ed Rogers Valley Ford. Power to get the work done. And right now, get up to $19,200 off MSRP. Several Broncos in stock now.
The Ford F-150 is tough. Always has been. Always will be. Your 2024 F-150 is waiting at Ed Rogers Valley Ford. Save $8,550 off MSRP right now.
Talk about power. Talk about luxury. The Ford Expedition and Expedition Max combines them both. $12,000 off MSRP.
Big savings, short month.
And the clock's ticking, so get to Ed Rogers Valley Ford right now. 111 Auto Lane in Sparta. Or view all the current inventory at EdRogersValleyFord.com.
Big savings now.
At Pioneer Building Supply, we're your one-stop shop for lumber, tools, and building supplies. Whether you're tackling a major renovation or just need a few materials for a small project, we've got you covered. From framing to finishing touches, we have the products and expertise to help you get the job done right. Stop by and see us today at 231 Northgate Drive, Suite 250, Meckmanville, or give us a call at 931-473-7777. Our friendly, knowledgeable team is always ready to help you with whatever you need for your next project. For 50 years, Pioneer Building Supply has been the trusted name in construction materials. We've built our reputation on quality, service, and the commitment to your success. Pioneer Building Supply, building your dreams since 1975.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Pioneer Building Supply, where good business make good friends.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Experience the difference at Los Trojas Cantina Mexican Restaurant. Distinctive Mexican cuisine with Cinco 6 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday nights. With Taco Tuesdays, $1.99 street tacos, and 2-for-1 beer specials every day, and all draft and bottled beer from 8 p.m. to close. Home of the Margarona. Los Trojas Cantina, across from Ascension St. Thomas on Sparta Street, open every day and Sundays.
Make the places you care about more comfortable and energy efficient with TVA Energy Right. It all starts at EnergyRight.com, where you can find everything you need to lower your energy usage for your home or your business. Contact Caney Fork Electric Energy Advisors Dale or Chris at 931-473-3116 or go to EnergyRight.com to start living and working more energy efficiently. Caney Fork Electric along with EnergyRight.com for all your energy needs. Brought to you by Caney Fork Electric Cooperative and TVA.
Attaboy.
Oh mercy! This is about to go haywire. I can already feel it. Hey, we're back on the Warren County Sports Authority radio show here on WBMC 97.7 FM. I want to go ahead and get this teed up, tied up, ready to roll because hey, well, first, Warren County Sports Authority is powered by Reddit Brown Ford.
Reddit Brown Ford.
Now, the Sullins Rant of the Week is powered by Supreme Building Products. Locally owned and operated since 1963, Supreme is a full-service retail lumber yard offering quality products at competitive prices. They got dimensional lumber, roofing material, Benjamin Moore paint. They have it all that and more. You can also check Reese Moore's, FYI, Fridays for the latest weekly specials. Shop local, shop Supreme Building Products. Now, I know Chris Sullins is known for a rant, but I think there was a rant that might have topped him. Is that the topic this week? Let's see.
Hey, it is the topic this week. We went out and got our shirts to let people know what started last night. Trail brought it up this week in a kind of a group text that, some people thought we got soft a little bit. Yep. Went corporate. We're not going corporate.
No.
That's not what we do around here.
Not us.
And we talk about the topics in this community. And let's be honest, in the last 12 to 14 to 24 hours, this topic has been one that has generated a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say this. First thing, tip of the cap. The greatest WWE promo ever done in this community. Better than anything I've ever put out. Anything I've ever put out. Supreme Builders, they're going to get their money's worth this week. And there's going to be some people that may decide to be Hacksaw Jim Duggan, go get them a 2x4.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I got fired up. Now, I'm not taking sides whatsoever.
No.
But last night, and let's be honest, Jeremy Hamilton, as he's doing this, tells people to share it.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
Well, let's just do just that. But I'm giving the Derek Jeter
tip of the cap.
Tip of the cap, baby. Hey, you can't do a better job than he did. There's lifelong wrestlers that want that moment. They can't do this. Last night, as good as I've ever seen. Had his shirt on, 15 solid minutes of just going after the city of McMinnville. Now, we're going to get into some facts probably a little bit later because I think there's probably some discrepancies that could be talked about.
You think there's a couple.
There's just a couple.
You're telling me that Macho Man Randy Savage didn't always have the right things to say.
But it was rolling off the tongue. The first thing, okay, the beating of the table twice. Got my attention.
Woke me up.
Over and over. The second thing, we talked about these shirts today. We had to go get them made.
We did.
This is a shirt he had to have made before the rant last night, correct?
Hey, shout out Crouch House.
Yeah.
Shout out
Crouch House.
Within a couple hours done.
Hey, we said we needed them. Did us a solid. Got us both shirts. We appreciate that. He talks about we've got some water on the property. And the city of McMinnville's just not doing what they need to do to help a blue-collar, 3-job guy out, along with his neighbors. Okay? He goes on about how he has reached out multiple times about this. And we all know that Jeremy he ran for alderman.
Apparently.
Apparently.
He put his name in the ring, apparently.
He's had some run-ins with the city before, but this took it up a notch.
Oh, yeah.
Because he calls some people out personally.
Tagged them.
The one that probably got him in I don't want to say hot water, but we've talked about it a couple of weeks ago. The last name, first name. Mm-hmm. He got one of the last names wrong, or he got the last name right, but the first name wrong. There's a big difference between Stacey Harvey and Steve Harvey.
Yeah, when you go 14 minutes of a 15-minute video saying the wrong name, and then at the very end, oh wait, I messed that up.
That was one that you kind of like. I don't know. You might want to go back and redo. But I'm glad he didn't redo because he just kept on with the flow.
Yeah,
the flow. You can't do a better job with delivery. I mean, I was hanging on every word. Every word. I took notes.
You did.
You just got to know, like, hey, when to pound the table. When to look away from the camera and take that moment of silence. And just let you soak it in.
Pause for dramatic effect.
Sometimes you just got to get the UV rays inside of you. You know what I mean? Things that do concern me a little bit, and I've talked about this today. I'm not taking sides whatsoever. We're not here to litigate this whatsoever. One thing that would concern me, we're talking about Lagoon Drive. It's in the title. As I said today, if I buy a piece of property on Airport Lake Road, and 3 weeks later I complain about there's planes flying over, it's in the title. If we also trail's been around Lagoon Drive. It's at the top of the hill, and it goes down. Trev, you have said that water is at the bottom of Lagoon Drive a lot.
A lot.
Like, this is not breaking news.
No.
Fox didn't break in and say, hey, man, can't believe we got water down there. You've lived here all your life, 2 decades.
Yeah.
I talked to another person that lived on Lagoon Drive, and I don't want to name his name because I don't want to get him in the courtroom because I think this could be where this is going. It's either going courtroom or cage match.
Yeah.
Or both. Or it could be both. Okay? Yeah. I said, hey, he said, I lived on Lagoon Drive. I said, you ever have any flooding? No. I said, really? He said, yeah, I lived at the top. Yep. And then I said, what about the bottom? He said, flooded every day. The surprise factor, I don't think that it's a surprise that Lagoon Drive has some water issues.
No.
He talked about tricycles and stuff being in the backyard. Hey, we need to find out who's losing tricycles over there. You know what I mean?
Road signs?
Road signs? That's a concern. Those are huge concerns.
That's a lot of flooding,
man. That's a lot of flooding, man. I mean, we had a lot of rain here in the last couple of days.
We did.
And I don't want to make light of it.
No,
I'm just saying, when we say in this community, we're going to bring the topics that you want to hear, this thing got 9,000 views.
9,300 as of, the commercial break.
This has got Jeff's Isha written all over it.
Yeah.
We got 20,000 coming. Hey, we're tagging Nick Barris.
Yeah.
We're going above and beyond.
Yeah.
Salute. Excellent job. Because we're always wondering, we talked about this week. We get a week to prepare for the show.
Yep.
So you're always wondering, hey, what's going to be that topic that everybody wants to hear? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm almost wanting to give him just the Mud Bums gift certificate. You know what I'm saying? Just a hot take. Like, hey, you know what I mean? He almost could rule the whole show. We can go a lot further if we want to. What do you have there, Mr. Simmons?
Well, first, I think there's, like you said, you have to take this at a couple of different levels. The first level being the fact is this wasn't 100% accurate.
Well,
the moment when you get the guy's name wrong for 14 minutes, you lose a little bit of the accuracy credibility there.
What you're saying had a little Sex Panther in it, like it works every time 60% of the time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You had that going
Ron
for you.
Burgundy there.
So the second one is once accuracy's not exactly there, then you just understand that you're probably in a he said she said situation. I think he brought up multiple times, well, the city told me. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, was there written documentation? And there may be. And if there is, like you said, this is going to end up in a courtroom.
Yes.
And we'll have Main Street Journal.
I'll be
Rob
there.
Nunley, people will be. Yeah,
we're covering this thing.
He obviously has a past.
There's a past,
and he brought that up.
Yes,
we don't have to dive into that too much. I'm just saying, this is not the first time that he's had a run-in with the city or anybody on that board or anybody in that room last night.
That's kind of why I say it's a WWE promo, because a lot of wrestlers have had they've had problems before.
Yep.
And you bring it back up. He did a wonderful job of that. Hey, back a couple years ago, this really set me off, but now we're taking it to another level. Yeah. Pay-per-view. I mean, I'm telling you. Pay-per-view.
Yeah. He was Shawn Michaels delivering the big kick.
Yeah.
To Marty Jannetty last night. Yep. I mean, he's put him through the wind. Yeah.
He's not going to break kayfabe either.
No.
He's sticking with this.
I mean, it was
he's sticking with it now.
I mean, it was just straight sweet chin music to everybody last night. That being said, again, when you start getting names wrong, you got to know the difference between when you're wrestling the Hulk and Hulk Hogan. There's two different things, two different animals right there. Another thing on it, he brought up the meeting.
Yeah.
Hey, I went to YouTube today. Guess what's on YouTube?
The City of McMinnville meeting.
The City of McMinnville meeting
on there.
You can watch the moment that this thing pops off.
Okay.
Because they have a meeting. Ryle Chastain, the mayor, who he brought up in there and tagged in there, Ryle Chastain was not even at the meeting. He was absent last night at the BOMA meeting. And so Steve Harvey, alderman, and I assume vice mayor would just be because he was running the meeting. I'm assuming he's vice mayor. They have a very very particular, set in stone way of how they do the meeting. A, roll call. They went through roll. B, adopting the minutes. They adopted the minutes. C, visitors. Would you like to say anything? Is there anybody here that would like to say anything? Crickets. For about 20, 25 seconds. At some point, you're like, how much longer do you have to wait before someone steps up and says, Steve Harvey says it. If there's anybody who would like to speak, state your name, state your address, approach. So we have all that. That happens. They go to D. Well, about the time D's done and E is starting, you can very clearly on the video see.
He's coming in.
Jeremy Hamilton come in the video with his locally hated shirt. But at that point, it's over. And I get that there's a frustration about that. I know that there was conversations about that. I have no doubt I would be frustrated in that moment too. But in that aspect, I don't think Steve Harvey did anything out of the ordinary for their meetings. It's just bad timing.
We've all been to those meetings, and I've been on boards, and you've been around this stuff. Both of you have.
Yep.
There's an agenda that has to be followed. Yep. If you don't follow the agenda, then you get the Warren County Sports Authority, where it's just 2 hours of mass chaos. That's great for views. Doesn't work well for city meetings.
Yeah. So anything else on there, as someone just said, didn't he say he went to the city to ask about flooding before he bought the house? Again, you could hit 15 minutes. He says he did.
Multiple times.
And I would say that's going to be something that he'll end up having to discuss with the city. From our outlook on it, like we said, it became something that became on the Warren County Sports Authority radar because it was just flat out
it was blowing up.
Electric.
It was just a beautiful promo. Yeah. I mean, we see these WWE reality TV series where they're trying to teach people how to do these things. It flowed off his tongue naturally.
Yeah. So as the rest of it, I don't really have a lot more takeaways from it. I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to have to be sorted out. I'll say this much. And it's right over there where I live on Faulkner Springs Road. So the next time it rains, I'll probably look through, take a little detour on Lagoon, and I'll just watch and look and see. And I'm going to say this much. From the videos he shared, from Trev, you said it. You live over in the area too. All of us. I bet there's going to be water there.
There is.
Now I'll just start to see whether if I start seeing an excavator or whatever. I don't know, the big power tools, the stuff like that. The stuff that Sullivan's knows about that I don't. And we'll see if somebody goes over there and fix it. Because, yeah. So I don't know. Kimberly, I would encourage everybody that Kimberly Smith-Young, in any of these things, she said, I got to go watch the meeting.
Yes.
Please. Everybody do.
Yes.
Everybody. It's 20. I promise it's about 20 minutes.
And I'm going to, when I say defend Steve Harvey, I'm going to defend Steve Harvey in this aspect. He ran the meeting the way the meeting is supposed to be run, and that's how they run meetings. That's just how it is. It's hard to deviate when it comes to those meetings because once you do it one time, people expect it every single time. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to defend Steve for this reason. Not to jump off topic, we're not going to, but I know what he did for a person that passed away this weekend. Mm-hmm. Steve Harvey is a quality guy.
Yeah,
I don't think that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, I don't think there are aspects that I feel like Steve Harvey is stonewalling this situation. I think that at some aspects it's just going to be look, this will be the last thing. Y'all know this as well as anybody. I had some issues with flooding.
Yep.
At my house. Yeah. Y'all know this. Yeah. My driveway was a mess because of the rainwater and the flush off. It was destroying my driveway and it left a huge gulf in there. Y'all know this.
God, I don't miss that.
But what happened?
They fixed it.
They fixed it because I called the city and I said, "Hey, we got this." They fixed it. So I will say that at some point about that, I think this will be taken care of. We will be back on the Warren County Sports Authority show, powered by Reddit Brown Ford, after this break.
Talk Radio, WBMC News is next. Love him or hate him, either way, you'll be listening. Simmons Says is McMinnville's morning talk show with energy, insight, and the occasional curveball. Don't miss it. Weekdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 97.7 WBMC. Raven Young keeps it fresh. Justin Reed brings the tunes. And Whistle Britches, well, he keeps things interesting. Town Talk, the morning show that's as unpredictable as the weather. Tune in weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. on 97.7 WBMC.
In the Main Street Journal news, the Warren County Memorial Airport Commission voted 6-0 with one abstention to raise hangar rent by 3% during its meeting. The increase proposed by Chairman Jason Cripps was lower than the 8% suggested by Airport Director Jim Dyer. The commission also discussed raising rent for newcomers and increasing prices after hangar improvements are made. Past rent increases have been 5% or based on the cost of living. Commissioner Brent Henley abstained, expressing concerns about the impact on pilots. Voting in favor of the increase were Cripps, County Executive Terry Bell, Vice Chairman Kevin Huskenveld, Commissioners Brad Hillis, Kelly Bassham, and Scott Rubley. In other news, Fire Chief Kendall Mayfield retires after 40 years, effective May 1st, due to health reasons, with a celebration set for May the 2nd at Station 1. Subscribe to www.mainstreetjournal.llc for more info. With the news, I'm Justin Reed.
Are you tired of being judged? Well, we here at USA Gym are too. We come in all different shapes and sizes with a variety of goals and ideas. At USA Gym, we are 29,000 square feet with a huge variety of equipment in different rooms. Do your kids play ball or do you just want to shoot some hoops? At USA Gym, we have basketball, soccer, volleyball, pickleball, golf, and a walking track indoors. And we're not done yet. Try out our functional HIIT training room, boxing, battle ropes, a place to push sleds, and more. We also offer childcare, so we'll watch your kids while you're worked out. Come check us out. 473-9355.
Tonight, showers likely and possibly a thunderstorm before 9 p.m. Then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. Mostly cloudy skies with a low around 47. Chance of precipitation tonight is 60%. Friday, expect a slight chance of showers before 1 p.m., then a chance of showers and thunderstorms between 1 and 4 p.m., and another chance of showers after 4 p.m. Partly sunny skies with a high near 60. Winds could gust as high as 20 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation tomorrow is 50%. Keep shining. This is Tisha with your weather.
Well, I love a rainy night. I love a rainy night.
Hello, welcome back to the Warren County Sports Authority.
He's good.
He's
boys.
good.
He's good.
You know, every
He's
single
good.
time when the music starts back up, you hear the cackling. Like, man, Connor's hit the nail on the head.
We got to give that one to your.
Oh,
my
dad did text me during the break. Actually, he sent. He said, "Hey, can we do I Love a Rainy Night, or maybe the When the Levee Breaks, or hey, what about 5 feet high and rising?"
I was going to pull another one from the show, your show this morning, and I was like, we need a new track. And then whenever that happened, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do Big Girls Don't Cry again.
Ooh. You can do that. You just do the shots fired after it, too. All right. We are back on the Warren County Sports Authority show, powered by Reddick Brown Ford.
Vroom, vroom.
And, hey, I'm telling you, man, I knew something. When all that happened today, and Sullins was on Town Talk, and it was all the numbers and the views, and maybe we've lost our fastball. Trev was people were calling us out.
That's what I had heard. That hey, we didn't have our A stuff anymore.
Yeah.
We got comfortable.
Yeah, we're just sheltered now.
Yeah.
Corporate.
We made it out the hood, and people saying that we lost it.
Made it out of the
From grunge bound out of the hood. We've lost it.
Wow. Good gracious. Trev, that's so good that we just follow right back up with the Trev TNT Power Broker of the Week, sponsored by Napa McMinnville. Can we all agree? Can we agree today? We're in spring. It's going to be spring.
Yeah.
Yes, it's coming.
All right. Well, when it's spring, you're going to want to be hitting the road, and if you want to, and when you want to hit the road, you're going to make sure that the vehicle runs good and it looks good. Napa McMinnville has you covered on all sorts of cleaning supplies and can get you restocked with fresh fluids and new wipers too. Because hey, even if it's spring, the April showers aren't going to.
No.
Napa McMinnville located on
showers.
Napa McMinnville located on 236 Burstable Highway. Sarah Guy Thomas. Tell them the Sports Authority crew sent you.
Yep.
Trev, who is our TNT Power Broker of the week?
This one's easy. When you got to call in a heavy hitter to maybe up some views, that's a power broker move. So it's going to go to the folks at Town Talk and Raven Young this morning. They brought in the heavy hitter of Coach Sullins, and numbers skyrocketed without that turbo boost button. So
they didn't want to talk about that turbo boost button.
They kind of punted when that got brought up. But no, they made a power broker move by bringing in one of the big guns this morning. So hey, hopefully they can get momentum and keep rolling.
I had a good time this morning.
It seemed like fun.
Yeah.
Seems like the Kumbaya stuff went away pretty quick once this show started, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, if you're the starter and the B team's behind you, they're just behind you. It is what it is. Yeah. And the view. I mean, hey, we've talked about it, and I'm hoping that we get that text here in a minute, or the message.
Raven's 20 minutes away from being to hitting her prime on Wednesday night. She's going to wait at least 20 more minutes, and then she can get in the comment section.
I do think that the burying gifts threw them off.
Yeah.
It 100%
yeah,
did.
they're like,
it threw them off so bad.
Then you came with some statistics.
Yeah, then statistics.
They didn't think that was coming.
They didn't know the analytics.
When you say you're a numbers guy, they must thought you were lying or something.
Yeah.
Because you say that.
So, well, hey, this is what happens. Hey, I like that one, man. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Raven Young, Justin Reed, Town Talk. Look, the biggest thing that's happening, and y'all said this, and we'll say WBMC 97.7 FM radio. Our Facebook page is growing. Their Facebook page is growing. Simmons Says Facebook page is growing. The Warren County Sports Authority page is growing. You can get us all on Facebook. You can get it all on Instagram. We're going to end up doing a lot of crossovers. I mean, yeah, I'm actually surprised that we've made it 40 minutes and y'all haven't said anything about the two different promos that Raven and I have done on Instagram the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
I know y'all seen them.
Yeah, we've seen them. we think we've got something to neutralize that. Yeah.
Follow it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, get out of our seats.
Y'all, who is the better rapper between Raven and I in today's video?
That's like saying what's the best of the two junk cars that's out there in the parking
I can tell you from the person who had to help edit that.
Yeah.
You hit closer on time.
Hey!
Oh.
Yeah. Raven,
it still wasn't good.
If we're saying that Simmons is a good rapper, that's I don't know if the bar has been set that high.
No.
I've never looked at Simmons and said, he looks
He
like
can
Drake.
drop some bars.
I'm the Vanilla Ice of rappers.
That's
vanilla.
being generous.
Vanilla. Very vanilla.
Yeah.
Raven Young.
You'd be taking a chance if you're saying he's the rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Raven said we had a great time today and really appreciate Sullins taking time and coming on the show.
we
Absolutely,
appreciate
man.
Are you being nice, Raven?
Hey,
Yeah.
She'll talk the trash.
She's going to text me. That's the problem. I won't have to deal with her tomorrow.
Hey, well, speaking of talking some trash or maybe just having some hot takes, we got our sponsor. Mud Bums. Hot wings, hot takes. In fact, sitting right here, we got some food to eat at some point.
Mud Bums comes through, boys.
No doubt.
Mud Bums. Hey, if you want hot takes, you are in the right place. Well, that or you can go over to our buddy's 15-minute video. In fact, he might have taken all the hot takes for everybody this week. But hey, drop us some comments. We're gonna have to. I think we modified the hot takes last week to best takes. Yeah. So if you got the best take in the comment section tonight, you're gonna win You're gonna take home a $15 gift card from Mud Bums. We will have that at the office over here on West Culver Street. So if we'll comment in there, we'll look through all the comments, and if you win it, we'll tag in there and let you know. Drew Walker, not you. We're just taking you out. We're going to say no, Drew Walker. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't send this to Florida. But Drew Walker did say, like I said this morning, sometimes you got to bring on some varsity guys to help the JV team get a win.
Yeah, got to do what you got to do.
We said that earlier in the show, but we weren't going to say who made that comment. But Drew just doubled down on it. Yeah. So Mud Bums, hot wings, hot takes. Trev, what about some mud wings, man? When was the last time you had some mud bums?
A couple weeks ago, I went over there on Tuesday night, got some 50-cent boneless wings, and hooked me up good.
Man, With $15 on 15 cents, how many
Hey, man.
how many boneless wings could you have bought?
I think. Let's see what I get. You asking what I? You
No,
asking
how
for-
many boneless wings for 50 cents could you have gotten with a $15 gift card?
30.
Hey,
boy.
Look
I
at
thought
that.
I thought you were asking what I got for $15 because that's what my
You never
bill
know with
was.
Trev though. I mean, he called it a call machine. So
Man.
you just don't know. You know what I mean? You don't know about if the numbers are going.
Trev, if you would have just seen the look on Sullins' face when I asked that question and that you didn't immediately answer 30, the side eye that you were getting. He was trying to look at the here, but he was sitting there like, are you really going to take this long to come up with 30 on that? All right. Hey, get in the comment section. No one said there would be math tonight. Yeah.
That is true. You don't think the Warren County Sports
Right.
Authority math's going?
No.
That's not 2 + 2.
No, that's
that's
Friday father and son time
Yeah.
on the Simmons Says
Did
show
he
with my
show-
dad.
Does he show up with math?
Yeah, he did the whole 5K math
Yes.
that day.
4.116 or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I'd have never got there.
Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to take our last break, and when we come back, we're going to go ahead and get to who needs to take their medicine for this week. So when we come back, we'll get to that. But this is the Warren County Sports Authority show, powered by Reddick Brown Ford on 97.7 FM.
When your day is long.
At Namaste Wellness and Aesthetics, we believe in total well-being. From expert gynecological care to personalized weight loss programs, hormone replacement therapy, and rejuvenating IV hydration. Rediscover balance, restore confidence, and embrace wellness like never before. Because when you feel good, you glow. Visit Namaste Wellness and Aesthetics online at namastewellnessclinic.com. NAMASTE wellnessclinic.com. Your journey to wellness starts now.
Come by Coffee Bank and Trust today and start earning better interest and better cash back on your primary checking account. Pair it with our Better Together Saver account and maximize your earnings. If you want better rates and better returns on your money, stop by and see us today at Coffee Bank and Trust, a division of Coffee County Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is Chris from Reddick Brown Ford in Morrison. In the market for a new truck? We have a huge inventory of new Ford F-150s and Super Duty trucks. Whether you need power for off-road adventures or reliability for work, we've got you covered. We offer great value and customer satisfaction that can't be beat. Our store is also the recipient of the 2023 Ford President's Award. It's no wonder folks say it's worth the drive to Highway 55. Reddick Brown Ford in Morrison or online at reddickbrownford.com.
I'm sitting here with Newt from Newt's Barbecue. Newt, can you tell me what's going on with your special recipes lately?
Legacy recipes from legends in Tennessee. My mother and father from Denny Moore's Russia, we use their recipes. Pope Taylor, we use his recipe, as well as Justin Wilson's Cajun cooking recipes. So we're a little different. We're lucky. We've got good recipes that we follow to the hilt every day.
Visit Newt's Barbecue in Rock Island.
Your family deserves better than ordinary. At the Butcher on Main, you'll find the freshest dairy delivered daily from Sunrise Dairy and real McMinnville-made jams and jellies that taste just like home. Our house-made sausage and premium meats are crafted for meals that wow. And our gourmet cheeses will have your guests asking for seconds. Need a space to celebrate? Our 1,000 square foot lounge is ready for your next event. Why settle for less? Find everything you need at 209 West Main Street, only at the Butcher on Main.
At Redmond's Carpet, they offer a wide range of flooring options to suit your needs. Whether you prefer the softness of carpet, the durability of hardwood, the versatility of tile, or the affordability of vinyl, we've got you covered. We also offer luxury in vinyl plank, LVP, for those who want the look of hardwood with added durability. Serving McMinnville since 1969, Redmond's Carpet, 2512 Old Nashville Highway. Call them at 931-668-4900 for your next flooring option. Redmond's Carpet.
Planning a move? McMinnville Moving and Storage has been trusted for over 60 years. Licensed, insured, and offering free quotes. Visit us at McMinnvilleMoving.com today. McMinnville Moving and Storage. Moving your past to your future.
Talk Radio, WBMC, and translator W249DQ McMinnville, WBMC.
Hello, welcome back to the Warren County Sports Authority, powered by Reddick Brown Ford. Guys, Yeah, do you need to have your vehicle serviced? Just take it out to go on 55 Reddit Brown Ford. You can get on www.redditbrownford.com. Service managers out there, they're professionals, trained. They'll take care of you, man.
They will.
Love Reddit Brown Ford.
They got some good looking cars out there, man. Every time I drive by, I'm like, golly, that's a good looking Mustang they got sitting up
Stop in there and get you one, Trey.
Yeah,
don't be afraid.
I've thought about it
Don't
a couple
be afraid,
times.
man.
Yeah,
They'll fix
name
you up.
drop. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm Trev Evans,
Yeah,
Warren County Sports Authority.
I mean, it's, it might get me a little far. I don't think it's going to get me in a new truck kind of far, but
I mean,
Just add that extra 20%.
that and a nice banker will get you in.
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
probably.
Yeah.
Know a few bankers too, but
That might help you a lot there too. All right. Before we go off the air on the radio portion of the Warren County Sports Authority radio show, powered by Reddit Brown Ford, we will get to one more category. I'm telling you, man, my dad sends about 18,000 messages per show, and they're always about Connor's music.
big music guy.
He's a huge music guy.
I have noticed on Friday when your dad comes in, Connor, they've got a good relationship.
They
you
do.
know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say they do a good job. He said he did say it also to remind Connor that by the end of that song that they do decide that big girls do cry.
That is true.
Yeah. So I don't know. We might get.
We just don't have 2 minutes and 19 seconds. The whole story there.
It's the Four Seasons, man. They tell a really big story in that song. All right. Last category we're gonna get to on the show. We're gonna do taking your medicine, and that is brought to you by Namaste Wellness and Aesthetics. Here's the thing: nearly 4 in 10 men over 45 have low testosterone. But men in their 40s with higher T levels experience sharper thinking, better mood, leaner muscle, and lower body fat. Don't brush it off. If you feel off, you might be right. Visit NamasteMcMinnville.com and take the first step to feeling like yourself again. All right. Who's taking their medicine this week? I think it has to be, I hate to say this, Lady Vols fans. I said it on my show. It caused a little bit of a controversy on Monday in the Simmons 6th. That Gino Auriemma, with another championship, his 12th, has firmly surpassed Pat Summitt when it becomes the most successful coach in girls basketball history. Sullins, you had a little pushback in the sense that if you term it just best overall, there's still a little bit of argument, but I don't know if we can argue success anymore.
Well, I don't think you can argue success. And when we're talking about this, as UT fans, and
of which me and you are,
as we are, and a lot of Lady Vol fans, and being from the state, and knowing what she did for the game of women's basketball, your heart's always going to say that Pat was, and she's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But Gino's and Pat's career was cut short, and that's nothing that anybody can do anything about that. But Gino has taken it to a level that will be hard for anybody to ever replicate or duplicate. That's just all there is to it. Yep. Your head, it's kind of like the Peyton Brady deal. You said that to me. You know, as a UT fan, I never wanted to admit that Tom Brady was better than Peyton Manning. But when you look at the statistics of it, it's hard to argue when you talk about the number of championships, how the longevity that he's did it. And it doesn't look like, when I say it doesn't look like Gino's going to fall off, when do you think he's going to stop? It seems like he's in, pretty good condition.
Yeah. I mean,
he's still got a fire about him. Yeah. I'm like you. I think that he is the most successful women's basketball coach in the history of women's basketball.
Yeah. I just look at it again, like you said. I was in college when Pat won 2 championships with Candace Parker. I mean, like, I have a lot of reverence for Pat Summitt. You know, when we took the girls to the UT camp, we went and got a picture of the statue with Pat Summitt. There's a lot of reverence. And I still say, and I think you made this point, she's still probably the most influential girls basketball coach of all time. Girls basketball isn't where it is if Pat had Summitt doesn't take it there.
100% agree with that statement.
And I don't think Gino can ever surpass that.
No.
He could win 20 championships. He'll never be more influential to the game in that aspect. But success-wise, 12 championships, 1,250 wins kind of speaks for itself at this point.
That's some crazy numbers, man.
Well, here's the one that really hurts for UT fans, and the one that is hard is four of those championships They beat Tennessee.
See, I didn't even realize they had matched up.
4-0 in championship games.
I didn't realize they'd even matched up that many times in championships. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'll give you one that's one better. Sullins. When was the last time that the Lady Vols were in the Final Four?
Oh, they've not been in the Final Four since Pat left. So has it been? It'd be at least 15 years.
Yep.
What year?
2008.
Okay, that's
17 years. There are girls those girls that you're trying to recruit, those stars that you're trying to get to the University of Tennessee right now, have never even seen the University of Tennessee play in a Final Four. They've seen you. They just saw UConn win a championship. They've seen Don Staley build an absolute powerhouse. Program in South Carolina. That's tough. Jason DeArmond said Rudy got her picture with her at UT camp. Yeah, I mean it's big time when you talk about that. I would say that. I mean it's just the reverence is always going to be there.
Do you think that UT fans, and which we are UT fans, but do you think the UT fans that still do not give Gino the credit that he deserves when it comes to his success has something to do with how Gino and Pat were not they were, which Pat, they're rivals, but there was not a good relationship when it came to those two programs.
Probably weren't going to dinner when they played.
No, there's two things to me that stand out immediately. One, they didn't like each other.
Agree.
And I don't think that fence was ever really mended. I know that Gino had some really nice things to say about Pat after she passed, but at the end of the day, it's one of those kind of ring hollow because y'all didn't really seem like y'all had a great relationship. And then two, and the one that I don't think anybody's ever going to forgive is the fact that I'm pretty sure that Gino was really involved in Team USA,
and
Candace Parker got left off the team. Yeah. And I don't think you'll ever see that forgiven when it comes to that. So those are the two things where I think you have that you're going to have rough time ever recovering from.
I think, maybe I'm wrong about this, I think Gino was one of the first coaches in maybe programs that actually challenged UT's dominance, as far as Pat was kind of looked at as an icon from at every level of coaching and what she had did, and nobody ever really challenged it. Not that they didn't want to beat the University of Tennessee, but Gino was kind of the first one that threw shots at them.
Yep.
Like, we're not just going to bow down and say you are as good as you are. I mean, and Gino has a way with words, and that was something that I think, I don't want to say caught Pat off guard, but that's something I don't think she had dealt with a lot during her coaching career, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jason DeArmond says they didn't like each other, but they did respect one another. I will say this much: I think they respected the success that each one of their individual programs had, because you have that.
Yes,
there are coaches. I mean, Sullins, you coached against a lot of people. It just so happens that you're really good friends with Eric Mitchell, but y'all had a lot of respect.
Oh, absolutely.
There's probably coaches out there, and you don't have to name them by name, that you probably don't personally say, hey, if I go to y'all's town, I'm going to make sure that I go out and eat with you, or we're going to have a really good conversation. But you could also say, I respect what they do.
Yeah.
Or you could name them.
Or you could name them. Trev saying we're not going soft.
No, but Jeff's right. I mean, there's a lot of, we've said this before. There's guys out there that I wouldn't eat Sunday dinner with, but you respect what they do.
Yeah.
And they're very successful at what they do.
I mean, I'll name one. Franklin Road Christian, the girls team that we play. I was never the first two. They have a new coach now, but the first 2 years that they had a different coach, I didn't really want to talk to that guy very much. Yeah. But I respected the fact that we had to be prepared every single time we played him, because I knew he had a good program, and his kids were going to play hard, and our kids were going to have to play hard to beat them. So yeah. I mean, there's times like that, and I think that's kind of the Gino Pat thing.
Yeah.
They had you had to respect what they did, because if you didn't respect it in some aspects, it was gonna bite you.
Did you think, when I say, I don't know if that's the best way to look at it. The University of Tennessee Lady Vols right now is probably not the best team in the SEC, and when I say not the best team, I don't think they're even the top three programs in the SEC right now. Did you ever think that you would see that, though? Yeah. At some point in time, it was almost like the Tennessee Lady Vols and everybody else in the SEC.
Yeah.
It's strange to me looking at it to say that it looks like LSU's program's better. Mm-hmm. We know South Carolina's program's better. Looks like Texas's program is a little bit better. It's hard to justify that Tennessee's Lady Vols program is at a level that where we want it to be when they're not even the best team in the SEC right now.
Yep, I agree. I think there's work to be done. I will say this much though. Did Tennessee and UConn play this year?
Tennessee. Hey, yeah, exactly. We won that
Tennessee
game.
won that
Yes,
game,
yes.
so they're getting back there, and they're going to build that rivalry back up. We're going to take a quick break. A full break when it comes to the radio. We will be off the air on WBMC on 97.7 FM, but we're going to go into OT, not extra innings. That got ruled really quickly.
Did you like
we're going to go into OT.
No, exactly. Thank you.
We're going into OT on Facebook Live, so stick with us. Again, this is Warren County Sports Authority radio show brought to you and powered by Reddit Brown Ford. We will be back with a lot more topics and a few more segments here on Facebook Live here in just a couple of minutes.
It's alright if you love me. It's alright if you don't.
Years. Just how long is that? Well, 30 years ago, the World Wide Web didn't exist. No iPhones, no flat-screen televisions, and no Netflix. You might have installed AOL using a floppy disk. Yep, 30 years is a long time. And to stay in business for 30 plus years, well, you have to do things the right way, especially in the last 30 years, when things have changed so much. The Rogers family has done it the right way, building a car dealership with a focus on integrity, treating people the right way, making fair deals. No tired car dealership cliches. The Rogers really forged a different way to buy a car. It's a hometown-friendly feel.
So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, C-Dub's getting good at the intros, man. He's getting on a roll.
Yeah, man, I really think that he knows the vibe.
He does.
He understands the vibe.
He reads the room, man.
Yep, he does a really good job with it. Well, hey, everybody, welcome back to the OT portion of the Warren County Sports Authority show powered by Reddit Brown Ford. And again, we want to make sure to let y'all know that Reddit Brown Ford, that Jordan, the service manager out there at Reddit Brown Ford, him and his team are making car care easy with complimentary pickup and delivery to get your car or truck serviced. Certified technicians that will do the job right, and you can schedule service at redditbrownford.com. 5917 Manchester Highway, Morrison, Tennessee. Let's get comfortable, guys. Let's get comfortable. We're in OT.
This is our element.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, Raven just signed in, so hey, Connor, be ready.
What's up, Raven?
Be ready.
I've got my censor button ready.
One of these nights, Raven's going to come over here and do some OT with us.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
At least OJ was able to hide.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you think Raven deserves a shot at the varsity team?
Hey, I mean, sometimes you call them up, see if they can hit a couple of shots. If they can't, you
30-30-30.
Right. Hey,
you know
you got to have those.
Yeah, you got to have those.
Got to have some glue guys.
The glue guy.
All right. Well, we did tease in the comment section, and of course, immediately I'm going to change that because that's what I do occasionally. Is that we're going to get to avoiding disaster. But before we do that, I want to get to a comment that was asked right before we went off the air on WBMC, which was Mark Mabry says, when we talk about a coach of women's basketball versus a coach of men's basketball, what are the primary differences that would make a person a great women's coach versus a great men's coach? Coach,
that's a good question.
Well, I tell you what, Mabry put us on the spot there. You know what I mean? We may have to go crickets here for a second.
I think the problem that we have here is I don't think there's any crossover in the room. You've never coached girls.
Coached 1 year.
One girl's assistant, and I've not coached. I mean, I've coached a couple of games of boys basketball, but I've never coached like a season of boys basketball. And to be honest, I would shudder to think that I would even be an expert of what a good girls coach is.
I would say this. I think most good girls coaches would do a good job coaching men.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of men coaches that would struggle coaching the girls.
I agree.
Coaching women.
Yeah. Chris Cope actually even said maybe that was a hot take question because he thinks that Gino and Pat are top 5 NCAA basketball coaches all time up there with Wooden and Coach K. And I think in that aspect, I think Bruce Pearl would say it, and there was a lot of people that said it. I think at some aspects, and you've probably heard this from UT fans at times, when the UT men's program was struggling, there were a lot of people that said, just let Summit take it over.
Coach.
I think she would be just fine coaching the men. And I didn't disagree. I think there was, yeah.
I think that when we talk about the differences, I've always said this. When I coached, when I was around girls' programs, as you were coaching young ladies, they quoted it. If you tell them to do this, that's what they expect to do.
They run, and if you tell them to run to the block,
they're going to the block.
Yeah.
They want it book, chapter, and verse. Mm-hmm. I think guys a lot of times it's paraphrasing, and you've got to understand how that works with them. I still think you push them the same way. I also, one of the major differences, I think that young ladies have to know that you care about them early on.
Yep.
Not that that's something that you don't do with guys, but we've seen it in our community at times. Young ladies teams or girls teams get turned off by coaches that don't think that they care about them at all.
Yep.
That would be something that I think that you'd want to make sure if you were a guys coach coming into a ladies program.
Yeah. The comment section, Andrew Brock has said there was no tougher coach in 8th grade than Sullins. I still have nightmares.
It's when that gets brought up, I'm probably going to be the first one to admit this. I was really, really Trevor and them think I was tough. Andrew Brock and some JT Morgan, some of those younger guys, younger guys at Boyd that when I got I was a hard. It's OT, right?
Yeah.
I was a hard ass.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't do it right.
Yeah, I've heard stories.
I mean, and I learned that probably wasn't the best way, but it took me a long time now. Yeah. And I also think that there was times that some of my teams played very tight at times because I was tight. I wanted to be so successful, I didn't allow them to be who they needed to actually be, and it took some time. I was hard on guys. I loved them to death, and I think that they'll say that they knew that I cared and respected, but we were going to do it the right way, and it was never good enough. And that's, as a coach, that gets you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
because sometimes it is good enough.
Yeah, well, Andrew Brock says respect for it, Coach. Ryan Williams posted and said Monica Moore was pretty intense as a 6th grade boys coach.
Yep.
So, I mean, when you talk about the crossover on that, we've said this on this show before, whether it was on this show or when we were in the podcast in the kitchen or whatever back in the day, where the wood was. Where the wood was.
The wood works.
That I had somebody bring up a point to me one time that said when it comes to coaching girls to boys that you have to have fun to win. The girls have to be having fun to win, where boys have to win to have fun. I still think it's a little bit of an oversimplification. I will say this much from my 3 years of experience coaching girls. I do think that the being in the right head place, having a great relationship, a very symbiotic, good relationship in the locker room was almost always vital to have success on the court. And as Coach said, that means the coach as much as to you can have a really tight knit team of girls, but if their coach they don't like their coach.
If the coach is on the outside of, if
it's not in the circle,
it's bad. You don't want to have 15v1.
Yeah,
you gotta all be bought in on and have a common goal of and whatever that is. And I agree with how you said that. There were a lot of times early when I was in high school where we probably weren't as successful as we wanted to be and what we knew we could be, and it wasn't fun. Now, were we okay with each other in the locker room? Was there issues? No, but we wanted to win. And then when the success came, basketball practice became a whole lot more fun because guys like Coach Sullivan say, you rack up 10 wins in a row, maybe you don't have to dive on the floor on Monday. Maybe you get a pass. So
I dive twice.
Yeah.
I dive once. Yeah. I do think that there's aspects of I will say this much to go back to the original question. I don't know if there's one specific trait that makes somebody a girls basketball coach or a boys basketball coach or coaching any time that you're coaching boys or girls. I don't think there's one specific trait because let's take it this way. There's plenty of people who've been successful doing both.
Yes.
Coaching boys or girls.
Yes.
Our own Danny Fish.
Yes.
A great boys basketball coach.
He would be a good one to ask.
That's what I was going to say.
He would be. Danny would have a great answer for this probably because Danny Fish is a great boys basketball coach, but happened to be a very good girls basketball coach. Also a supremely successful girls softball coach. And I can tell you this much: I bet he's a pretty good baseball coach.
Well, I was fixing to say that. I was fixing to say that about Goob. I mean, Goob be a guy that's done a great job on the softball field, but he's coached baseball before, and he would be very successful at that as well.
He coaches boys basketball.
Those would be two guys. Those would be two guys that would be great to ask those questions because they've dealt with it multiple years in multiple different teams.
Yep, and had success, like you said, on both
at the highest
level. I mean, if that's the case, if you want to know what the common denominator is, just be really good. Just be a really good coach, and then you can figure it out with anybody. Yeah, because Gooby Martin and Danny Fish are really good coaches. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit more about Gooby Martin's team going on right now because I think it's the summer or the spring's heating up. And when you got a flamethrower in the circle, like Celia Goudat, you can get some things done. But we're going to talk about that a little bit more. That being said, avoiding disaster, which is brought to you by who, Trev?
Nobody. No,
avoiding
Adam
disaster,
Wood. Bro. It's been a long day. It's been a long day.
Man, I shouldn't do that to you.
You can't do it.
Avoiding disaster sponsored by Adam Wood with Farm Bureau.
He's only the boss, man.
He is.
His office is located.
He's the bills.
His office is located right across from Country Club Market in the shopping center. And the phone number is 931-668-7075. It's a one-stop shop for all your insurance needs. I'll tell you this much.
Is he still in Switzerland, man?
No, he's back.
It's not good.
Well, let's tell you this much. Neither you nor anybody watching will forget that Avoiding Disaster is sponsored by Adam Wood. So in that aspect, you did a great job.
Avoid disaster? Trevor Evans. Pretty simple.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
You got a key for the office in the morning?
Locks are changed.
Locks get changed.
Hey, ad department, just send that bill to Trev this month for the month of April. I think Trev's the sponsor of Avoiding Disaster. Actually, you know what? You might be the segment now.
No, I am.
Trev.
I am.
Trev, you need to avoid disaster in the next 24 hours. Keep that job, big cat.
You need to step out and make a call. Make sure everything's good.
We're good.
Jason Diamond says Doc Trev's pay for that. Oh, man. I would say that would be a hot take, but I actually kind of agree with him on that one.
That's tough, man.
Guys, we talked about this over the weekend because we started seeing some results coming in from spring sports. And look, let's just say it, particularly the baseball team. Had a little bit of struggle over the weekend in the Mountain Valley Classic. Lost to Sequatchie County, lost to Marion County, lost to Whitwell. Came back Tuesday night, last night, and lost to Shelbyville. As we speak right now, I think they are actually in Shelbyville playing. And they're in a tough spot. You've lost some games in a row. I mean, last night I looked at their lineup. You could tell Coach King's trying to do everything he can to try to fix some things. The lineup changed, where people were playing changed, where they're hitting. We're changing. Trev, just pay Connor, and he accepts Venmo checks and cash money. Like right now, it's the end of the second inning, and Shelbyville's up 2-0. So the Pioneers still haven't really figured this out. But Sullins, I brought this up to you, and I think this is where we talk about avoiding disaster. I'm not even talking about the high school thing. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
We knew this in some aspects. So, I mean, if we could go back to a seeing the future from 2018, Sullins and I said when the youth sports locally, particularly in the spring with baseball and softball, started to seem like they were not just the participation, but the quality and the talent level started to seem like it was trickling down in that youth league, and we weren't doing anything to fix that we were going to pay sometime down the road. And I think when you watch that high school team right now, it's the baseball team, some of the softball. I mean, the softball team's not where it was at 5 years ago either. That you've started to see that I don't know if we've got these kids from 8 to 14 where we were getting them, say 8 to 10 years ago, where those kids were, when they were getting into high school, we were having district MVPs like Haley Wood, Emily McCullough for softball, like Brooks Helton, Jack Kill for baseball. And some of that was the leagues, some of that was parents and travel. But I'm telling you right now, if we want to avoid disaster as Warren County, something's going to have to be dug into these youth sports and fix it, because right now we're probably a couple of weeks from the city league starting again. Those things have to be very important and have to be reworked in some aspects, because if we're not doing it right down there, Sullins, what's your go-to phrase when it talks about high school and middle school and youth success?
Middle school success never guarantees high school success. Middle school failure will almost always guarantee high school failure in the wins and loss categories. And I think what you're saying right now, and we've been around this for several decades, and we've noticed this over and over. When you bring young men and young women into high school programs, you want them to be on a certain level. They need to be, if they're coming in as ninth graders, they need to be playing as most ninth graders should be playing. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have some young men or young women that are not only above that, but you may have some below it. But you need an average of, hey, they've been taught the right way. They've been exposed to good competition. They understand what competition means, all those type things. I've said this many times, Jeff. Too many times we're trying, in a lot of different sports, we're trying to get kids to a level in the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade where they need to know, on the athletic field, they need to know trigonometry, geometry, and calculus. And a lot of these kids have never played general math. They're just behind. And catching up is hard to do. We've got some really good coaches that are trying to help that. But if you get a young man or young woman or young lady that's behind early, it's almost impossible to get them up to the level that they need to be. And our competition doesn't come backwards. That's something that we need to look at in this community. I think we've talked about it many times. We talked about it last year during this time. We talked about it in 2017-18. We were talking about these topics. There is too many times that we're asking high school coaches to get their teams to a level that their players can't get to because they're not ready for that level. They're still playing on the 4th, 5th, and 6th and 7th grade level. They got older, but it's hard to get them better. They're mentally not there. And we're seeing some of that right now with the baseball team. I will say this. I would say, based on what we knew about what was coming in, that the baseball team the first couple of weeks overachieved. A lot of people said, hey, this will be really tough for them to play 500 baseball, and they come out of the gates.
Got to a 9-9 record at one point. Yep.
It looked really good. Now they're in a slump, so to speak, and it's hard to get out of that because mentally they're not where they need to be physically to play at the level they need to play at. And this is a pretty tough baseball district right now, it looks like. They got some teams that can play.
Yeah, and I get that that's going to cause frustration because, I mean, look, baseball historically in Warren County is one of the most successful programs we have. I mean, we've sent people to the majors. I mean, we had a guy that suited up in the World Series from Warren County. We've had guys in the big leagues. We have guys going to college. We have district MVPs. I mean, we've had a state championship baseball program that we got to see a lot of guys from.
Well, and when you looked at that state baseball program, look, we talked about George Olesic. He was there at Slim's funeral. He's a guy that played in the minors.
Yep.
Gooby played in the minors. Brandon Lowry. A lot of these guys had some college success. J.W. Holt. All these guys had a lot of success. To get to the college level, you got to be able to play on the college level.
Yep.
Okay? That means they were probably pretty good at the high school level. That's something we're not seeing as much right now with this group, top to bottom, and it's got to be a concern. And a lot of it goes back to this. When it happens, the first person they blame is the high school coach.
Yeah.
He's not getting it done. Oh, I've been there now. There's times that I've stepped out there on the basketball floor and we weren't at the level that we were going to have to be.
Yeah, it's tough when you look at the tool belt and all you got is a hammer and 3 nails.
We used to say that.
Somebody says build a house.
We would talk about it a lot. I mean, how many books are in the book bag or how many tools are in a toolbox? And you go over at that nice toolbox you got over at Harbor Freight and you've got a kid's plastic hammer and a screwdriver that's the ends broke off, and you're going, we're not going to win tonight. You know what I mean? We got a long way to go. So a lot of that has to do with some city leagues, kids not being exposed to the level that they need to be at a young age.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, going back to where we were at, which is avoiding disaster. Sellens, you got a list on your phone of some names.
Yes.
Get that ready to go because we're about to talk about that too. But again, going back to the avoiding disaster point of that is if we're going to try to rectify some of the things we're seeing at the high school age right now, we're going to have to dig in at the youth level because every point that we're making about these high school coaches need these kids to be at a certain level by the time these kids are going 6th, 7th, and 8th. There are 6th, 7th, and 8th coaches at the middle school probably screaming in at their screens right now. Tell them that we need them ready to play 6th grade when they're coming out of 5th grade because it's the same thing. We can't be starting to try to play 6th and 7th against Coffee, White, and all this, and they haven't been exposed to it or ready to play it at the same time.
I think a great one, a good one we can talk about right now is look at flag football. Okay? Flag football is not competing against what those kids learned in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. We've got a young young football team that's just beginning, but they can stack up with most kids in the state because they're starting out on the same level. Our athleticism, kids, our kids can grasp what they need to grasp. They can be taught. Paul Willis and that staff's doing a great job. But when you start adding in, they started playing this sport at the 5th and 6th grade level, and some of our kids are not up to that level that they need to be, that's when you get really, really far behind, and that's when it can be a struggle.
You could see on Tuesday night when they played Stone Memorial, who had a team that was in their second year competing instead of the first, how much different it is just in year 2 against year 1. So I think that you said the same thing. I think that's a great point, a great point. When everything's level, we still have athletes to compete. When you're behind, and me and Matt Turner used to talk about this a lot with the football team. When you start thinking about when you look across the sideline and you see, I agree, Chris and Black and Griffith. I'll read the comment. It knocks me off my train of thought. But if you're on a football field, and Coach Eric Ballou will have this happen to him at some point this season, he's going to have 50, 60, 70 kids over there that maybe have 150 years of combined football experience. And they're going to look across the field, and he's going to be playing a 50 or 60-person roster that has 300 years of combined football experience. That's when you get in trouble. That's what Coach is talking about. It's not just that they have all the experience going right now, but they've also had all the training, the preparation. I mean, Spencer Pryor, hey, look at the middle school wrestling team and how it translates to the high school team. All of a sudden our high school team's really, really good because our middle school team's been really, really good, which also meant because our youth was really, really good because Dave Holcomb, National Wrestling Hall of Famer, had started working with these kids when they were in AAU 10 years ago. Get the youth fixed. Work to the middle school, and then when you get to the middle school, get them on the same page with the high school.
Yep,
that's priority number one. And I think they've done a good job with those last 3 hires of fixing some of that too. But again, we have a lot of different things. Kristen Blackburn Griffith says, speaking of rec leagues, I have an 11-year-old ready to play flag football tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think that youth leagues are too soft? Do you think that kids are losing interest in athletics with the innovation of tech?
No.
I don't think the youth leagues are too soft. I think that there are kids that are just going to lose interest in athletics because of tech and everything like that. But, yeah, I think that's big things there. Eric Blaylock says it's so much more than good athletes. Good athletes are successful in middle school, but if they haven't mastered skills, it will not translate into high school. The skills need to be taught early. Mm-hmm. That's a high school coach telling you right there. Somebody who's started working on a pipeline to help herself.
Danny Fish was here a couple weeks, he was here a couple weeks ago during basketball season. Coach Ballou and if Gooby and Phillip were in here right now, Coach King, they would say the same thing. Danny talks about your skill set. You got to be improving every single day. Mm-hmm. Well, we talk about the skill set as a high school player. Well, and skill set of a high school player needs to improve. Mm-hmm. Too many times we are having young kids that are not improving at the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade level. What they're doing is playing. Yeah. They just play. Yeah. But they're not getting better. You're just going out and playing games. You're playing games. There has to be a skill set that you're looking, saying, hey, have I mastered that? Or am I getting better at that? If a kid's having trouble at the plate, him just going up there and saying I took 4 at-bats for 40 games didn't get him any better. He needs to get in a cage. Yeah. He's got to get good coaching to help that. I would agree with what Aaron says right there. Those are the type things that they don't drive high school coaches crazy, but we as high school coaches look at it and say, I don't have kids that are where they need to be. And then when you get to the high school, one thing that people really forget about, we think this stuff goes on year-round, and it does in a lot of ways. Mm. But as coaches, we don't put our hands on them every single day. No. I mean, you can lift weights, and you can run them, you can do all that conditioning, but you don't get 12 or 15 of them that say we're going to practice every single day for 12 for 11 solid months. That's the TSSAA doesn't allow that to happen. I wish they would. Yep. That's not how it works.
Yep. Yeah. Don Lowry, Wanamaker makes a point, says, agree with everything saying. Remember to thank your coaches. Thank you, Jamison Bolden, for pulling together 8-year-old girls to teach and expose them to competition along with your helpers. Coaches Grissom, Coaches Rogers, and Coach Olesic. Coaches is a topic that we hit on over the weekend.
You and I hit on it Sunday.
And you asked me a question that we're not going to – I know you got probably a different question for the Ben Lomond Rapid random question, but you asked me something that I thought was a mind when we starting to do the list, it was mind-blowing, which was what was going on. And actually, you asked Ronnie Brown.
I asked Ronnie Brown.
It was a great question.
We were at Slim's funeral.
We were at Slim's funeral, and you looked at Ronnie Brown and you said, hey, did you ever think when you were coaching back there in the late 80s and the early 90s that there would be so many successful coaches that were in that pipeline that were currently athletes at that time? You have a list.
I have a list. And when I say
this is not even, probably not even a complete
and there's going to be
list.
people that are going to add to this list, I guarantee you.
Well, put Robbie France on it too. If he's
I've got Robbie on here. But this is a list of coaches that were walking up and down the halls with myself, Gooby, Philip King, all of us. We overlapped a little bit.
Yep.
I think Coach King was one of the first ones. He graduated in 1989. Mm-hmm. So we're going to say this list goes from about 89 to 94. It was amazing when we started thinking about all the guys that had got involved in coaching and had some success at it. Mm-hmm. So I looked at Coach Brown because when we were at Slim's funeral, you started looking around and you're like, there's about 5 or 6 coaches here that came from that 92, 93, 94 era. These are the coaches that I put together that I know were in that age group, that we walked up and down Warren County halls together, so to speak. Philip King, pretty successful.
Yes.
Gooby Martin.
Very successful.
Lane McCarter.
Hey, if you don't know, look it up.
700 wins in Memphis as a baseball coach.
Big time.
I think multiple state championships. TJ Christian.
Big time.
Right down the road at Moore County.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Lowry.
Great. Just took three straight volleyball.
Then I think he coached baseball.
Yeah.
At some point.
Got a really talented son, too, playing basketball.
We're going to talk about that a little bit in a minute. George Olesic.
Yeah.
People forget about George, how successful he was when he coached. Chris Madewell. I would say, well,
top 3 all time.
Standard bearer right now for what you want Warren County football to be. If we got to get it to that level first.
Yeah.
Chris Madewell graduated in 1992. Brent Whitlock.
Yeah.
Coached at Warren County.
Yeah.
Now he's at Riverdale.
Yeah.
J.W. Holt.
Long-time coach. Multiple kids going to the state. A lot of versatility in this coaching list too.
Robbie France.
I coach against him now.
Coach against him. Yeah. Doing a great job. Matt Snow. Somebody that a lot of people forget. Matt Snow coached at Riverdale and Oakland multiple times as an assistant state football coach champion with Rankin and the guy at Oakland.
Yeah.
The Smith brothers. Ryan, Allen, and Nathan. Yeah. Those 3 guys. The last, Paul Willis Martin. Paul Willis graduated with me back in 1991. Yeah. And then I did coach during that time. I'm not going, but I look and say, did we realize how many guys were going to be good at that?
Yep.
And how that happened? Let me tell you how I think it happened. Brandon talked about it a little bit at Slim's funeral. We were coached by really quality guys at the high school level. Okay? When I mean the high school level, the Ronnie Browns, the Bobby Lunas, Andy Jacobs, Jimmy Walker, Bobby Cox, Ray Barnes, Franklin Fisher, football. All those guys were great. But we were also coached at younger levels by tremendous people that go unnoticed. One guy that coached me back then, a lot of the McMinnville Country Club will remember this thing, Freddie Davenport. Freddie Davenport. Now, here's what's funny. Freddie Davenport coached me in softball, okay? But he had a fire about him. When you stepped on the field, your job was to kill the other team. When it came to competitiveness, I think 2 guys put that in me. My father and Freddie Davenport, because he actually one night told a bunch of us after we almost got beat that if we played like that, we were not going to be successful in life. and I was about 12. It stuck with me.
Yeah, there you go, Trev.
Hey, I know.
The McCarters.
Yes.
We've talked about that. The Raymond Moores. We can go down the list. Philip Kings, the Hubert, and those guys that were involved in this that did such an excellent job.
Brent Wharton says Coach Dalton at the junior high.
Coach Dalton. You didn't understand how good those guys were to get us ready for the high school level. They also took us to competitions at a young age to let us see what competition was all about. We've said it about the Americans on the baseball. One of the reasons our baseball program was so successful for so many years is all the athletes had went to Memphis when they were 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They had seen good competition. So when you go play a Germantown in the state, you're not saying, oh, that's Germantown. You're saying, oh, that's the guy I've been facing ever since I was 8 years old. You didn't understand how that worked when you were 14, 15, 16, but now you look back and say, that makes a lot of sense. It's something that Gooby has had a tremendous advantage with because he's dealt with young ladies that were playing competitive softball at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yep.
And they just continued to get better. I'm sure there's going to be people that are added to that list.
Yeah, we didn't have everybody.
I'm sure I'm going to miss some. But it is amazing that from 89 to 94, there's at least 15 very successful coaches at very different levels of high school sports that were all intertwined. And I think they would also, all of us would say we were coached by really good people at the high school level, but younger coaches at younger levels did a tremendous job.
I mean, easy 1,500 wins on that list.
Yes.
Easily 1,500 wins on the list. Trev, here would be my question for you. Do you think there's anybody that you've grown up with or you're in there that comes out of your age that look in 10 years, 15 years, you're going to say, yeah, it makes sense that they became a really good coach because they played for some of those coaches?
Yeah, I'll give credit to the three that just got announced at the middle school we hit on a little bit last week. You know, they had seen all different kinds of coaches, and those coaches had done it the right way. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to turn out to be tremendous coaches. Another one I'll say is Elsa Eckenrod. Her mom is a great coach.
Yep.
And she's went on to college and had some good coaching, and she's coaching herself. So, I mean, I'm not surprised at all to see what she's going to end up doing. But, I mean, yeah, there are probably some that I'm not thinking of, but 1,000%, I think.
One name that I threw out to Coach Sullins this weekend when we were talking about if we think that there's some kids, and again, I don't want to put Coach Sullins on the spot because I said this. I think a kid like Dante Elam always struck me as a kid that if someone told me 10 years from now, hey, Dante Elam's the middle school head coach or the freshman boys coach somewhere, whether it's Warren County or somewhere else, I'd say, yeah, that makes sense.
Well, when you said that, we've said that many times. Dante was a young man that when I was coaching him, he looked at the game the same way I did back when I played. Yeah. Because in some ways I was almost looking through a coach's eyes because I knew my ability. Mm-hmm. You know, we didn't have the NIL back then, so I knew I wasn't going to get signed for $2 or $3 million, but I probably wasn't going to get a D1 scholarship. But I liked how coaches, how game plans worked and how you got young men, young women better, and what other coaches were doing against you and how you could offset that. Dante,
he understood
how the game was being played.
What needed to be done other than putting points on the board and the things that you're not going to see on a stat sheet of boxing somebody out, setting a screen, running a good play. I mean, man, hey, the list can go on. Another one I'll say I just saw he tuned in is Isaiah Grayson. I say that anytime I have the opportunity is Grayson was one of the most impactful leaders that I was ever around, and he was a man of few words, but you know, when he did talk, you knew it meant something. So he's someone that in the future, if I see that he's coaching, which I know he's helping a little bit with basketball, but I just know that he knows what he's saying, and when he says it, he means it. And so I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a successful coach.
Two more I'll bring up that I coached at Boyd, and it doesn't surprise me that both of them have had some success. I don't think one is in it as much anymore. JT. Yep. Is a guy. JT, I could tell, he understood how the game was played. He understood what you were trying to do to be successful. Lucas Majors was a guy that it came from that Majors bloodline, but he looked at the game different than guys you were coaching. He was looking at it through a coach's eyes. This is what we're doing, or this is what they're trying to do to us. If we can do this, I think we can be successful. Those are the type of things. Mitchell Young's a guy that when I was coaching him, he was almost like those are guys the game slows down for.
Yep.
They can see it and they see it in a different manner. The thing that I'm always concerned with when I bring those names up, I think a lot of times you say those names and you want them to coach at the highest level. And that's great. Yep. Some of your best coaches never get to those levels. They're coaching at a younger level, and they're telling a third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade young man, young girl, hey, this is what we need to do to be successful, and it helps them.
They're teaching them the right way. I got some friends that coach younger teams in AAU, and they lost a couple games over the weekend, and talking about what the other team did and pressing the whole game and this, that, and the other. And hey, I get it. It's competitive. I'm as competitive as the next guy. But at some point, it's like, man, let's teach them how to do it right instead of winning the game 100-12. Like let's teach them. Hey. Fake one and make one, and all those. And I'm not saying take it easy, but like I don't even know what the words are, but teach them to play the right way. Don't worry about wins and losses when they're 5 years old, man.
I totally agree with that. And that somebody might say, well, you just said Freddie wanted you to kill a kid when he was in the 8th grade, and he did, but he also taught it the right way. When you step on the floor or on the field, you want to be successful.
Yeah,
you're going to play hard.
Play to win.
You're playing to win.
Play the right way.
You're competing. He taught a competitive edge. I'll agree with Trev. A lot of some of this got to do with some of the social media stuff we see.
Yeah.
I mean, you see stuff out on social media today where a kid in the 3rd grade and he's going to graduate in 2036. He's the top ranked 4th grade kid. I'm like, really? That's what we put out. But people feed into that stuff. Yeah. That's something that does bother me. I do think this community is in dire need of really good people to teach at a younger level.
Yeah, I agree with that. I will say this much. Again, young in my career, I hate to even stop because I feel like you know how it feels. You feel like you'll name somebody and somebody, but well, you didn't name so and so, so and so. In the 3 years that I coached, 3 names that pop up immediately to me, and I know that there's going to be some that still haven't even. I'm only talking about people that have finished their careers that have played for me. Paige Sweeten, who's playing at Montlow right now, but I think she'll end up being. She's a point. You always kind of know with point guards they'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. Regan Grissom, who they're sisters, so it doesn't surprise me. Emma Miller. I think 3 of those girls that you could tell immediately. I watched them and I said, and I think some of them are already in the coaching that I would not be surprised at all if they're going to go and did that. I mean, I think that's the big thing on those. Those are just 3 that popped out. And I will say this much too. Ginger Tag Martin says, Coach E's by far most influential coach at any level. Elsa is also just as phenomenal. They care. It matters. Regan Grissom and Emma Miller both played, I think, at Centertown, so that doesn't surprise me that those 2 names popped up immediately. Anything else, guy? I mean, we got a radio WBMC submitted question that is on this topic, so we might as well go in here. It says, Sullins and Simmons, in your own words, what makes a good coach? Trevor, you were a student athlete not long ago. Fill in with your thoughts. I've had longer to think about it over here while Sullins was giving out some truth bombs a second ago. What makes a good coach? I'm trying to think of the best parts of all the coaches that I respect immensely, and I think one of them is one of the biggest things that you end up doing is leadership. You have to have somebody that is going to naturally command respect, not demand it. They command it because of their presence and what they do. X's and O's. X's and O's. You have to have a baseline level of X's and O's and strategy that goes to it. But I think when it all comes down to everything else, you have to have the passion for your sport to teach, educate, and care. Because if the kids think that you're in it for anything more than just to be there for them, then I don't think that you're ever going to get everything out of them. I would think so. I don't know. I mean, I think strong X's and O's, good leader, but passion for the game, passion for leading kids would be the three that stick out to me.
I 100% agree with that. I'll say the ability to listen to your team, and I'll say, talking about someone who cares, when you go into the foxhole on a nightly basis, you want to know that your coach has your back. And I mean, Coach Sullins is sitting right here, but I'd say it if he wasn't here. I knew on a nightly basis when we stepped on the floor or whatever that Coach would have my back and have everybody else's back. And even when we screwed something up, because we did a lot, even when we screwed something up, he would come out and he would say, "Hey, that's on me. I didn't have you prepared the right way," and he would take full blame. And to me, when you know a coach cares about you off the floor, you'll play that much harder for him, because I have no doubt, even though we talk every day, if we didn't talk every day and in 5 years I call Coach Sullins, I say, "Hey, Coach, man, I need something. I need a reference on a job application," or Coach Wood's my boss now, but before, when I had talked about going to some different jobs and I said, "Hey, man, I need a reference," or "What do you think about this job?" We would go to lunch and we would sit down, we'd have an honest conversation, and he would really let me know what he thought. And he truly cares about my well-being off the floor and in 20 years when I have a family of my own. So to me, a coach that cares about you in 10 years, in 20 years is I mean, the best coach there is.
Players, I learned this a long time ago. Players want to know that you really care.
Yeah.
And they know they can see through the BS. And I've seen some coaches that there's some true BS about them. I'm just telling you. They want some accountability.
Yep.
If you're going to hold them accountable, they want to make sure that you're accountable as well. They want you to be responsible.
Like showing up for summer games.
Yes, they want some responsibility there.
Yeah, when you make a promise to run a marathon too to 20,000 viewers.
Yeah. Another thing that I would say, you better be a good listener if you're a coach. Mm-hmm. You got, and a lot of times you're listening to things that they're not verbally saying to you. It's how do you read a room? That makes a good. You got to understand. Maybe one day you just don't walk in and say, "Hey, we got beat by 20." Yeah. We're going to go through heck tonight with practice. You might just want to say, "You know what? Today they may just need some pizza and let's sit around and shoot the bull for a minute." And then you got to be willing to learn. Too many coaches, I was guilty of this early on. When I mean early on, when you're 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, you think you know everything. And then you find out as you get older, you don't know anything. And you better be willing to learn. So those are the things I think that most really good coaches understand and apply.
They listen to their staff as well, and you gave your staff immense amounts of credit. But to your if Coach Bond or Coach Glenn or myself or Coach Wood had something to say, you would listen to it, and I mean you might apply it, and you might tell us we were an idiot at times. But earlier in the episode, Coach, you said when you first started coaching that you were a bit of a hard ass, and it was never good enough. At like what point did that change? Did the switch go off and you were like, "Hey, maybe I can't do it that way," or maybe what changed it to where?
I think it was probably 3 or 4 years in it, Boyd. Really, I think that I understood, and when I say that, back during that time, before I got to the high school level, Boyd, I'd been pretty successful at every other level that I'd coached. I mean, at the middle school levels, I remember we first got to Boyd. I think we won 43 straight games, and you're just on top of the mountain, and you can't get beat. But you get to the high school level, and you're realizing these guys are good at what they do. And maybe those kids are giving you all they've got, and they're just not able to win a basketball game. It's not that they're not playing as hard as they possibly can. It's not that they're not practicing hard. Sometimes there's teams that are better. And you have to understand that it's going to take some time. It took some time at Boyd for us to become competitive. I'll never say at Boyd when we were in the TSSAA that we become a state championship level team, but we became competitive. And it was fun to watch that. I then transferred that over a little bit to Warren County. When you come into Warren County, and Jeff, we've talked about it many times. We've said it with the football program. We talk about the baseball program. They've had a lot of success. State championships. They've been to the state, district regions. all those type things. Gooby with the softball program. We came in the basketball program. They hadn't had a winning season in 2 decades.
Oh, man.
Football, we've talked about it. So you have to understand that you're going to push them, and you're going to push them really hard. But at some point in time, that may be as good as we can be this year. If you look back and you see improvement, that's something you want, and then you try to improve year after year. It took me a while. My first couple of years at the high school level at Boyd, they were miserable for me because we weren't having the success that I kind of always been accustomed to. Like, we don't have losing seasons. That doesn't happen. I'm good enough for that not to happen. Yeah. And then you realize it really doesn't have a lot to do with you. It's the whole group. Yeah. And if we're not all on the same page, it's it's not pleasurable at all.
Yeah. All right. It's tough. It's tough listening. It's not tough listening. It's very informative listening to Sullins talk about it, because I mean, even I'm nowhere near even in the same stratosphere. But I know that exactly what he's talking about, in the sense that I look back now, it's just that first year that I'm like, man, I like, a lot of times I look, I'm like, dude, I was a terrible coach that year because I was kind of like you. I can do this. Yeah. And it's like, hey, they have to do it. You have to help them. And then that was when it kind of clicked. And I think I'm not even the things that I need to still learn as a coach are immense, and I need a lot to growth. So it's funny for someone to even ask me what I think a good coach is. I was like, man, if I knew, I'd be a better coach now.
But you take coaching out of it for you. You've covered coaches for.
Oh, well, that is true.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're somewhat young in your coaching, but you've covered and seen good coaches.
Well, Trev, you made the point. You showed up to one of my practices, and what did you say? Hey, he's doing a Chris Sullins.
Yeah, he was acting just like you, coach. He was.
Simmons just doing Chris Sullins impersonations.
I'm going to ask Simmons. He's been around a lot of coaches. Yeah. And we've talked about, hey, Warren County's had some really good ones, and they've had some that are that's not been as good as we'd like. Yeah. Did you know early? Not naming names, but were there some coaches that when they weren't successful, you were like, I could have told you that 20 practices in. I've been around it long enough to know that was not going to work in this community.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Multiple sports across the board. You could know them. I mean, it's not that hard to figure out. People know them. You knew it immediately, within days, within maybe going to 2 practices. You're like, yeah, this person's not going to work out when it comes to say that. I will say this much. There has been at least one coach that I thought that's never going to work, and it actually worked pretty decently, but then it didn't work out. And I'll name on that one, Eric Baird.
You didn't think it would work?
I was like, I don't think this is going to work. Yeah. I don't think that's going to. I don't think that this is going to. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh no, this guy's kind of figuring it out, and did a pretty good job. And then for reasons that people know or don't know or whatever, they said that they wanted to go in a different direction. But yeah, he was one that I think kind of threw me a curveball. Sloan Seymour Sullins was the best coach and the best coaching style I needed. Personally, we disagreed in practices, but we always found a way. And you could ask him. I probably made him lose half his hair.
At least. Here's I'm really upset at Sloan right now. I'm actually physically mad at. He's at the Masters right now with his daddy, and he's rubbing it in a little bit. No, but here's what's funny: a kid like Sloan. Yeah, Sloan was a lot like myself, and our attitudes were almost mirror images of each other. The problem was he was a player and I was a coach. Yeah, you know what I mean. But nobody wanted to win more than that young man.
No,
and he played extremely hard. He did everything we asked. Did we have some tough times? Yes. But looking back, I wouldn't change anything about that relationship. Love that young man. And now here's what I'll say about that. Now I look, he's working at First National Bank. He's successful in life. Could we have a few laughs over maybe a DeKalb County picture that Simmons took when I'm right nose to nose saying, do not say anything else to their crowd? We could. But I wouldn't trade that for the world when it came to the time that I had with him. Love that young man to death. But I'm mad that he's at the Masters.
I know. I saw that today, and I was like,
when I saw Darla put that out, I was like, "Oh, man, I got to be."
I was about to call Peter, like, man, you got to call him in.
Yeah, I've got to be jealous about it for the next couple.
We're rolling back through the comments. Kimberly Young Smith talking about, Kimberly Smith Young. My apologies. Talking about when you were talking about Boyd basketball, I said 2005 to 2009, they were just tough times for Boyd basketball. Honestly, probably for all sports, golf, baseball, and soccer didn't have a lot of success. It was there were some things that had to grow through there. Kristen Blackburn Griffith said Chris said it just then. Relationship, you have that relationship. Isaiah Grayson says I second what Trev said about Coach Sullins. He visited me in the ER after one football game. We'll never forget that. Accountability. It was brought up. Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you about that.
Go ahead.
When it come to Grayson, we went and visited him, and that's one of the first times that if I could have got my hands on a football coach, he would either him or I would have been in the ER. I don't know, but when Grayson got sent to the ER that night, I thought, what in the world is that kid still doing out there? I think he was on special teams or something. I was not real happy about that. But see, those are memories that those young men remember. And then when you see Grayson on the sidelines, or I went to Danny's practice and he's out there and he's working with kids, that makes you feel so good. When you see that Mitchell's working with kids, JT, all those guys that I have had the opportunity to coach, when Trev was helping us, that really makes you feel good inside because they're passing on some things that you tried to teach them, and watching them do that, it makes you feel pretty it gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
James Bennett said coaches are teachers both on and off the field or court. Absolutely. Ginger Martin says you got to know the players. They're all different. Talking about going back to the Trev's point that he was making about AAU basketball on the play. Some people just want to run it up. She said that you don't want to humiliate kids on the other team. And of which someone else responded, Ginger's responded, don't humiliate your own players either. Degrading kids helps no program. I agree with that. Jason DeArmond says Rudy enjoyed coaching 4th and 5th grade teams. She wanted to teach fundamentals and not start bad habits. Drew Walker says I can remember youth baseball coaches would tell their kids to throw a pitch as fast and as hard as they could without teaching fundamentals. A lot of kids got hurt.
Here's one and you see the elite AAU stuff. Okay, and I think Trev's he's gonna agree with this. And you always want to go out and win AAU games. I think Coach Lippy's got a son that's either in the 3rd or 4th grade, and he's coaching his team. Okay, and I don't know how successful they've been.
No clue.
I don't think that they went out and won a lot of tournaments yet. And I'm sure that the guy on the other sidelines he's beating his chest that he's beating Warren County.
Coach, yeah.
Well, here's what's funny. I'll guarantee you that guy that's on the other sidelines is nowhere near the coach that Coach Lippy is. Because I know I've watched him. I know what he's teaching. I've seen, and we've got into this before, Coach Woods is coaching his young daughters. And if somebody beats Adam on the sidelines, like I got Coach Wood, well, you got really lucky.
Yeah.
Because you're not the coach he is.
No.
I've seen what he does. That's and I'm glad that Coach Lippy's coaching younger kids because I loved when he coached the older ones, but I know the wisdom he's passing on to them at a young level. I think Coach Warren's helping him a little bit now. Coach Lippy and I was talking like, hey man, I had to bring another guy on. That's guys that's been successful at the high school level, and they're teaching small. And I've had people say, why don't you get involved in that? I may at some point in time because I think that's something that is fun to do. Sometimes you got to put your ego in check, though. You got to realize, hey, I'm helping something here that's going to help years down the road, and you may not be remembered. That's the thing that coaches get into, too. They get egos of, hey, I was helping that kid, and I'm not getting thanked. And I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
There's some jealousy that gets involved in that. Those are the type of people you got to watch. They're doing it for reasons that are kind of selfish at times.
Yeah, I'm fortunate to actually get to share a sideline with a guy that, like you're talking about with Tim Page, who's right now coaching 4th and 5th grade teams, and I think he's, like you said, when you have a guy who's won 125 high school games in the last 5 years to say, I'm going to go coach 3rd and 4th graders.
Yep.
I'll go coach fifth graders. And for the people that are listening there and saying, "Hey, you're supposed to be over there with him," the job, that was the thing that hurt. That was the one thing about switching over here. I was like, I don't have nearly as much time anymore to go and dedicate to that, but I really do. Like, that's kind of what you're talking about, Tim, Lippy, Adam. I mean, it is nice to know that I think that there are when we had that conversation about youth and how are we going to make this thing better, the people like Anthony Lippy and Tim Page
those guys.
And Adam Woods and those folks in there getting back into the youth development will be absolutely huge down the road, hopefully, for Warren County. Guys, I think we got to get. I mean, we're nearing the end of hour 2.
Yeah.
No, we're just nearing the end of hour 2.
Yeah.
Not the end of the show.
This may be the longest one we've done on the.
No,
I'm talking about like here.
Okay.
Since we switched over.
No, we went way past 7 o'clock. We ain't even 7 o'clock yet.
No.
On the air, we went past 7 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't.
Connor will tell you that, right, Connor?
Yeah, most definitely.
Connor's back asleep.
I was actually just checking the times a minute ago.
Connor left 30 minutes ago. What are y'all talking about?
He clocked
At one
out.
point in time when I was asking, I thought Connor's actually clocked out.
Yeah. Well, hey, last best take, hot takes. We're still going to monitor the comments right now. I think I got Jason to the Armin on a small lead right now in the comment section for the $15 Mud Bums gift card. I also should point out that since we've been on the podcast, y'all almost went to 9 once. Yeah, it feels like we probably did that at some point.
Yeah, we have did that at some point.
Maybe.
Hey, the problem is that the people don't even realize that that finally Connor's just given up, and they gave me a key because Connor will come in and be like, because he's found out we'll end the show, and then we'll be in here for another hour.
Yeah.
In fact, Trev's probably eyeing these wings right
dude,
now. He wants those wings right now.
Time we're going to break the box open. You know what I mean?
Sorry, Chad.
So, yeah. But no, we'll have another hour discussion before we'll even leave here. But it won't even be on the air, sadly. I mean, or maybe it will. I don't know.
I'll just leave it running.
Just
I'll show you to turn it off.
Yeah.
Make sure you got gas in that Reddick Brown Ford you bought.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Reddick Brown Ford.
Yeah.
Hey, Warren County Sports Authority, powered by Reddick Brown Ford. We got to get those keys in reminders.
Yeah.
I'm sure Greg was in there saying, "Hey, hadn't plugged Reddick Brown
RBF,
Ford."
RBF.
Get RBF. Yeah.
Hey,
make that happen.
It's on the interview screen the whole time.
That is true.
Yeah.
See it right there.
It's true. True.
Good. And hey, if they're watching, they're not listening right now. They have to be watching, so they're seeing Reddick Brown the entire time. One last topic I want to get to before we get to the Ben Lomond rapid random questions. That is flag football. We've had a good start.
Yep.
5 wins in a row. Got snapped on Tuesday night against Stone Memorial, but 5-2. We, weather permitting, and as long as there will be a YouTube stream, which I was told that Warren County Schools will be doing a YouTube stream, we're going to bring the simulcast back for tomorrow's 5 o'clock game against Van Buren County. Guys.
Fired up about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah.
What do you think we can be better next?
Hey,
we can be better the second time.
Oh yeah,
we were pretty good first time.
Yeah,
I'm here to help now.
Yeah.
That's
going to help. That's going to help.
We don't see stupid commercials.
Yeah, cut that.
Yeah, but I'm excited about that. It's been nice to go see the girls play the last 2 nights over at Nunley Stadium. I think they played a really good game against Ray County on Monday, and then I thought, hey, I know that people are going to see that score against Stone Memorial 46-18 and think, oh man, what happened? I'm going to say, well, what happened was Stone Memorial came in the game 7-0 and had allowed 12 or 13 points in 7 games. So what happened was Warren County scored more points against Stone Memorial than 7 teams combined had scored. It was 20. It was a 20-12 game.
I was gonna say at half, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At half, it was pretty close, right?
Yeah.
Or 2012, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was 20-12 with about 2 minutes to go. Stone Memorial took the lead, 20-12. They cut it to 14-12.
Oh, okay.
Stone Memorial went to 20-12, and then Warren County threw an interception. Stone scored right before halftime to go up 27-12. And then kind of took care of business from there. But
you know what I liked about that?
What's that?
When you did an interview with Paul Martin.
Mm-hmm.
When you talked about an interception. Paul Martin does exactly what a good coach does. He kind of he took responsibility for things that his team didn't do the way that they probably wanted to do. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's what good coaches.
Yeah.
And players start figuring that out. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got my back when I make a mistake. He's not going to back the school bus up over me in public. If there's one thing that pisses me off at a level that really can get under my skin is when I see a coach at the high school level back up over his kids in a press conference or in any kind of interview setting. I don't understand it. I never will.
Yeah.
They're high school students. And if somebody can go back and see it, and I did that if there's one thing I prided myself on, we're not going to back up over our players in public. It burns me up. There's guys out there all over this state. They need to listen to some of the responses that Paul Willis gave when it came to questions and answers. He took responsibility. Sometimes you need to do that. You don't want to be 1v15.
Yep. Hey, we might have just got another rant, a little snippet.
Well, you know,
hey, you're right.
Does that not bother you a little bit when you see that?
Yeah, every time.
It just bothers. There's just something about that.
Kids go to work every day.
If you want to do that in the locker room, fine. Do not go out in public and do that to your teams.
It's ridiculous.
That's just ridiculous.
Even if you do it in the locker room, man, those kids.
Danny did a great job this. And nobody. Danny will say he didn't. The season didn't end the way he wanted it to.
No.
At no point in time do you ever back up over his players.
No,
I don't get that, man.
Take wins and losses out of
absolutely
anything you talk about. Those kids bust their ass every day, and then for you to go out there and say, "Well, they."
I did my job. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, last time I checked, teams aren't they. Teams are they to when Jeff writes an article and he's talking about the team as a whole, and the coach is normally involved. When a coach is saying they, there's some issues.
Last time I checked, it was we.
Kristen Blackburn Griffith says P-Dub, Paul Willis Martin took blame and told the girls he loved them. Of course, because I was standing right there where he was delivering the speech. He sit there and verbatim said, "Y'all are still having to overcome my shortcomings as a coach." And even when they win, he will say, "Sometimes we don't play well because I'm not coaching us good enough." Mm-hmm. And I'm like,
it means a lot. It means a lot to players, to high school kids. I've always said this. Those high school kids are a lot smarter than people give them credit for. They read the paper.
Yes.
The Main Street Journal?
They read the Main Street Journal. They hear interviews.
Yeah, they go back and listen to those coaches' interviews.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Franklin Fisher, one of those guys.
Yes.
Says, I was always taught if you coach, if a team loses, it's my fault, the coach. And if your team wins, then that's the player. So we say that. Tim and I say that every single game.
It's funny that
players win, coaches
Franklin
lose.
Fisher says that. I have never once heard a player that played for Franklin Fisher badmouth Franklin Fisher. You know why? Because of things like that.
Yep.
Things like that.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth.
He took up for his teams. Hey, and let's be honest. I've been on teams. I've been coached when I flat out. I was a junior high school, and we're sitting there, and I don't get into the stories, but I'll never forget. We had made a steal. I'd made a steal at the end of the ball game, and we had to run a baseline out of bounds play. Okay? I was the inbounder. I have no idea what that play design was because I was too busy drinking water and having everybody slap me on the back. Now looking back, the baseline out of bounds play was throw it to Gooby. He's our best free throw shooter, who came wide open. I didn't look at anybody. I got a 5-second call.
Man.
Almost cost us the ball game. Coach, I could have been thrown under the bus. Like, what are you doing? He took full responsibility. We didn't have the right play. Now you go back on film and Gooby's sitting there going, please throw me the ball. I'm wide open. For 4 seconds, I never even look at him because I never looked at basically what was on the board. Coach that kind of taught me you do not do that to players.
Yep. I think that go back. This is learned behavior. The good coaches learned it from a different good coach.
And that's what we talk about with Franklin Fisher's, Jimmy Walker's, Ronnie Brown's, Luna's. Hey, we were just coached by really quality people back during that time.
And Drew Walker says those are the kind of coaches players will run through a wall for. Yep. Verbatim, that was said in a column that I wrote this week. And in fact, I think one of his players said that. Kevin Hobbs says times have changed since the late 80s, early 90s, but the coach that I can remember that would care was Frank Fisher.
Yep.
Jason DeArmas says Paul and his staff have the respect of the players, and players respond to the best of their abilities. I don't really want to get too far.
Well, we're not going too far in there. Hey, you want to go Ben Lomond?
Yeah, whatever y'all want to do.
Yeah, I was like, that was all right.
We could go down that hole.
Yeah, we can rabbit hole that.
Long way.
Yeah, well,
we can Bugs Bunny that one for a long time.
Well, I already did it on Tuesday. I don't have to do it again. Yeah. Go back and listen to the Simmons Says show. Ben Lomond Rapid Random Questions. Get the highest internet speeds available in Warren County for your home or business, plus a Wi-Fi 6 router, a convenient app, and in-depth local 24/7 customer service for right at $2 a day because Ben Lomond connects. Delivering internet
at the speed of light.
Woohoo! Chris Sullins just waved me off. We're done. We're not going. he just ISO balled. He said, we're calling a different play.
Hey.
He saw the look. I think he saw the look in my eye, and he's like, I'm going to save Simmons the trouble right here. He doesn't want to say it.
Nope.
So just don't say it.
And our fans are going to say,
yeah,
there he goes. Yeah. He went corporate on it. He went corporate. If you was in the Woodhouse, you'd have brought it out.
It's tough now because they can see us. So, like, if we have to have the eye, it's tough.
Yeah. All right. I'll ask the very first one. I had this one teed up already. We talked about youth sports or high school sports, where the development and everything like that. But we also said that we were going to get back to this topic, and I think that Sealy Goudat, and a comment I got from Coach Gooby Martin this week kind of reminded me of this. Sealy Goudat, has helped the Lady Pioneers get back into the conversation of a district because she's pitching really, really well. Last week, Warren County beats Shelbyville 20-0. And I asked Coach Martin, what kind of changed for your offense? Because you had been shut out by Lincoln County. You'd been shut out by Coffee County. You'd been you've been no hit in tournaments twice, I think, this year. And he said, realistically, it's because we started facing high school pitchers again. Because they had played against some teams that just had some big-time arms.
Some college-type arms.
And I think Sealy Goudat's starting to put herself in that conversation as well because Warren County beat Lincoln County 9-4 the other night, and she pitched a really, really good game. In fact, she had 10 scoreless innings last week when Warren County beat Shelbyville and Warren East from Bowling Green, Kentucky in back-to-back games. In a team sport, we always talk about team. But is there any more vital position in high school sports in a team sport than the pitcher for baseball and softball?
No.
No. You think that's the most vital singular position in any team
in high
sport?
school? Yes.
In high school.
In high school, yes.
More than quarterback?
Yes.
You think it's even more than quarterback?
In high school, yes.
I think it is.
In high school, yes.
That a dominant pitcher is the number one thing, the number one player that you would be set
I go back to the day when I was in high school, and I mean we had more than one dominant pitcher, but you had Jack Keel, and you knew when Jack was on the mound that other team was going to have to put up, or you were only going to have to put up 2 or 3 runs because Jack's not, probably not going to allow more than that. And then you had a guy like Brooks Helton who, when he got up there, was probably the same. I mean, and there's probably more that I'm totally forgetting, but
Lane Roberts was a 2-time district pitcher of the year.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a good pitcher that is literally keeps runs off the board, I mean, it's the most important.
Well, the ball's in their hand.
Yeah,
and a lot of times, let's be honest, if you got a really good pitcher, they can mask a lot of deficiencies that you may have as a team. I would not disagree with that at all. I think that those are the two positions. If you've got, we've seen it in girls softball. If you can put that type young lady in the circle, make sure I got that right.
Yeah, you got
it. Yeah, I screwed it up a few weeks ago.
If you can put them in the circle, it gives your team an opportunity to win every night.
Madison Hollis. That would have been somebody around here.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, she's the all-time wins leader in postseason in Lady Pioneer history in the circle. I mean, she was the kind of girl. Well, it's what we talk about all the time. Okay, we're playing 7 innings, so it means we got to get 21 outs. When that guy or girl can go get 12 of them for you by yourself, you only got 9. Yeah.
Well, something else that I think that is a position that other players understand how dominant your pitcher is.
Yeah.
Like I feel so confident of who we're throwing that it kind of helps me be loose as a player. They're hard to overcome, and we've been blessed in the last 10, 12 years to have those type of kids in both on the baseball field and the softball diamond.
Yep. So that's mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got
What
one.
you got?
All right, so we're just talking about the Masters.
Yes.
Let's say you won a green jacket and you get a Masters dinner.
Ooh.
I
love it.
Give me what's the appetizer, the main course, and the dessert.
Trev, that is an excellent question. Because I've said this. I hope that if I win the Masters, that I don't have to put the jacket on a guy like Hideki Matsuyama, because he's going to be from Japan, and I'm not going to like the food that he's putting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But here's what I'm getting. Hey, we're going to get us some really nice shrimp cocktail or some buffalo or some bang bang shrimp. That's the appetizer. It's the first thing we got to get. Okay, we're going to go find the best prime rib that can be offered. Period. And we're going to cook that stuff like, the Masters are going to cook it. I don't think I can go to the grill. We can't go to Strel Smoker.
No.
We're going to do that. Hey, going to probably do some maybe a little corn mashed potato type stuff, something of that nature. I may go with chicken if you're not a meat eater, but you can't be a Masters winner if you don't eat meat, can you?
No.
Really? A dessert? Oh, my. Maybe a nice hot fudge sundae, something of that. I'm telling you that right there. And then, of course, we'd have some nice drinks to go along with that. That's mine. What about you?
DoorDash. Just whatever they got.
I do some anxiety eating that night.
The one that's gonna make me that everybody's gonna say, because the shrimp's a great call on that. But I mean, I love cheese fries. So he's
going cheese fries.
Cheese fries, but I gotta have a really good ranch with it. That's the appetizer.
He is a big Bevel winner.
Yeah. Let's be honest. Yeah, wait, I'm showing there. Let's see. Meal, fall off the bone ribs. Like, I want somebody that knows how to do it.
I like that. Right
know
there.
how to do it.
Yeah, because some people don't.
Some kind of corn pudding.
Oh,
like I don't know if you ever if I don't think they even do it anymore, but like Calhoun's used to have a really, really good corn pudding. Yeah, and my stepmom does a really good corn pudding. Other side with that, ribs, corn pudding. Do I need another side at that point? I mean, a great macaroni and cheese.
I would see is one of mine.
A tremendous macaroni and cheese, and for dinner,
dessert.
Where are they? For dessert. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. That was I thought that was the appetizer. Do I not get another dinner?
Yeah, get your
dinner. No, I'm just kidding.
Go ahead, big guy.
Hey, where
it's your Masters.
Where do they play the Masters?
Augusta,
Georgia.
Yeah.
Now I want Peach Cobbler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Peach Cobbler.
We're in the Peach State.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're Peach Cobbler. Hey, and by the way, if you like Peach Cobbler, go over to the cafe at Tree City this week, and if you get you a Peach Cobbler, you get a 12-ounce cup of coffee.
What are you doing?
What?
That's on the Simmons show.
We'll give them one.
Hey, little
give
love
one
here and there, it's fine.
Nobody's gonna.
Hey, I'm telling Chad. Hey, you're giving out free ad reads.
Jeff did a 10-second ad read for Peach Cobbler,
and I get in trouble for playing pumped up kicks.
Hey, tell Chad that I came in and helped his morning show, so we're even.
Okay, yeah, there we
go. Peach Cobbler, fall off the bone ribs, corn pudding, good mac and cheese, and cheese fries.
There you go.
I was doing really well.
Yeah.
At
it
the
fell
end.
off real bad.
No. I started really poorly.
Yeah,
it got a lot stronger on the way back. All right, sir.
I'm gonna go appetizer, some good wings.
Okay, I like that.
Give
I
me
like
some
that.
good wings.
Yep.
Like some mud bums wings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go. And then, hey, Jeff, from when we used to go out for the Sports Authority. Hey, man, give me the best steak money can buy.
Okay.
I'm getting steak 10 times out of 10.
Yeah.
Sides, I'm going to go sweet potato casserole.
Okay.
Ooh, that's great.
And then I'm going to go some sort of mac and cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then dessert, man, this may be a hot fudge sundae would have been.
That's pretty nice.
But you can't beat a good chocolate milkshake to me.
You're gonna go chocolate milkshake as dessert? Okay.
It's got to be, but it can't be like it can't be too thick. Like, you got to be able to drink.
You got to be able to drink it.
Yeah.
That's one thing about milkshakes.
Yes.
I hate when you have to use a spoon.
Yes.
It's not a milk spoon. It's a milkshake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. smoked cream cheese.
Hey, that's-
Jason D. Arman
that's-
says.
that's good stuff.
I think that's real. That's gonna. I'll tell you what, Jason D. Arman, that's the one.
Yeah.
We're
That's-
gonna take
that's
you
good
over the
stuff.
top. I got a $15 gift card from Mud Bums. I'm gonna put Jason D. Arman on this name. You can come pick it up over here at the radio station on 230 West Culver Street, and you can take home this nice card.
Yeah, smoked cream cheese.
Yep. And while we're at it too, we'll make sure to get. Did we ever mention that we've like doubled and then tripled?
You tried a couple times, and then we like derail.
Yeah. Okay. Krista Fleming for $130 won our auction that we had for the UT overalls, the hat, the Farm Bureau hat, and the Meshack shirt. That has since ended up turning into $520 because Chris has offered to match it. My parents offered to match it, and somebody already Venmo'd me during the show and matched it as well. So that'll be
so basically we're going to split $520 between them both. Is that
between
correct?
two programs.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Sounds good.
So I had my question, my Ben Lomond question. Trev had his Ben Lomond question.
we got
Sullins,
Coach.
what you got?
I'm going with the Masters too.
All right.
I'm not going to ask who wins it. We let Nick.
Yeah,
Nick talked about that. I mean, I've got my favorites and all that thing. How many hours you going to spend watching it?
Oh, it'll
during
be,
work.
Oh, it'll be. It'll be on the Office TV.
Okay.
The par 3
Yeah.
challenge was on today.
Okay.
It'll be on the Office TV.
To me, it's the greatest sporting event.
I feel bad.
I just love it.
I feel bad for Brittany because
Love
she doesn't want to watch. But me and Adam have already. She's not a huge golf fan. Me and Adam have already said, hey, the Masters are going to be on first thing tomorrow.
We got.
What's up, man?
I'm thinking. How can we get
how can you get the
Masters on behind me?
Oh, absolutely.
For Thursday and Friday shows.
Classic there.
Hey, Connor, if we can't get it up over here, I'll just plug in my computer and do the running, and I'll just have it on this TV over here.
That's
and then
what I
no
was
one will
saying.
even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one will even know. I could be watching the Masters the entire time while I'm doing the Simmons Says
People are going to
show.
go, why does Jeff keep looking to his right?
They'll
Looking at
they'll
Connor.
think that I'm talking to Connor.
Looking at Connor.
But it won't be. I'll just be watching what's going on in the Masters here.
It'll just be silence for 10 minutes. It's like the dude's taking way too long in that swing.
Hey, Dad's coming in Friday. He's got it.
Yeah.
Dad, what do you Dad, what do you think about my shows this week? Masters time.
There's something about that sporting event, man. I just love every minute of that. Can't get enough of
But
it.
going back to your original over under on total hours I watched the Masters this week.
I don't know a number.
I would say no less than 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
No less than 6
I'll give
hours.
you that. I like that.
And if it's and that is what Stern said. If it's a super competitive final round,
I hope so.
that number goes up to like 12.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to watch it for 6 consecutive hours on Sunday. If it's competitive. If somebody runs away with it, you're probably talking about a couple hours on Friday, a couple hours on Thursday, a couple hours Saturday, and then when it gets uncompetitive, you're probably not going to watch it that much anymore.
Y'all probably pay more attention or have in the past and probably this year as a whole. Who do y'all think, like maybe a dark horse, or who do you think is going to win? I mean, because it's easy to say a guy like Scotty or somebody who's at the top, but is there anybody that you're like,
the new kid on the block,
the
Adverg?
Oh, Ludwig Adverg.
Ludwig. That cat's going to win.
Yeah,
Ludwig
he's
von
got
Beethoven?
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That kid can flat out play.
Yeah, he's got the it.
Look, I mean, I don't think he's going to win, but sentimentally, always, because I'm left-handed,
Phil?
I'm always watching Phil and hoping that he's going to make a run. I mean, but I don't think he's going to come out win. I'll tell you this. I'll just steal Nick's. He said Shane Lowry. He said Shane Lowry's probably going to be a guy that'll be in that factor. So I'll just Nick knows a lot more of it than I do.
He
So
does.
I'm just deferring to his knowledge.
I was cracking up watching him on the show because. And I know Nick pays attention, but I was like, he's talking like he's texting these guys right now. He's like, yeah, Rory's seeing this sports psychologist. It's really going to help his game. And I'm like, whoa.
Nick, I'm telling you, man. Nick,
some background on that, yeah.
Oh, he
Very
came in like Sullins. He had notes, and I was
boy.
like, dude, what do you want? He goes, I just kind of scribbled down some things. I told him, I was like, man, if you got a topic you want to hit on, just like, let me know. I'll tee you up for it.
What is the odds right now with Rory?
Plus 600.
Plus 600.
I think Scotty was the favorite at plus 440.
Okay, so if I put 100 on Rory, I lose 100. Because he ain't winning the Masters, boys. That's my hot take. I do not think that cat ever wins the green jacket.
That was
agree.
a great setup.
It was.
Drew Walker says Shooter McGavin. Hey, Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out.
It is coming out.
Yeah.
You can't go Happy.
Trevor, you're going to watch Happy Gilmore, the first one, before Happy Gilmore 2 comes out?
Yeah, I probably will.
No, you won't.
Oh, no, I will. Hey, I watched.
Tell me.
I watched the Top Gun 1 before I watched Top Gun 2.
It's called Maverick.
Or whatever, man. Whatever. Just be happy. Just be happy.
I am happy that you actually watched the movie.
Just be happy I watched the movie, man.
We find out he just watched a reaction video with Jeff.
No, I watched the whole movie.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, we appreciate everybody that stuck with us tonight. All the comments. I mean, I think we're going to end up with over 100 comments again on our show. You usually know.
Yeah.
You had a good show. The comments get to the triple digits. We're doing a good job. Somebody pointed out that I think we might have hit our highest live number that we ever had going on. I think that was when Sullins was doing his rant of the week, and y'all had y'all's T-shirts on. And then again, just want to make sure that everybody knows that the Warren County Sports Authority is powered by Reddit Brown Ford.
No doubt.
RBF.
Yep, 5917 Morrison Highway. Just
power stroke
go
power, baby.
Go see them.
Go see them. And also, Jason DeArmond, we will have your Mud Bums Hot Wings card up at the front desk. So if you want to come get that, you can start getting that tomorrow. We will, Krista Fleming, we'll have your UT stuff here on Friday. So if you can come pick that up, and then we will collect that money and get that to the 2 programs that we'll be donating that to. Thanks so much. We'll be back on the Warren County Sports Authority show next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Simmons Says show will be tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.